doofus. This big, stupid doofus back in the studio. Hello, Amy.
Hey!
Where were you?
The Eastern Sierra Nevadas.
Oh. So you were gone. You weren't in town.
I was not in town.
I almost didn't recognize you.
I was very much out of town. Well, I got a little tan. When you're hiking in the mountains, I usually picture like winter coats. What I forgot is that the Eastern Sierra Nevadas are surrounded by the desert. And so we flew into Reno where it was 110 degrees.
Oh, nice. I love it. It's about to be 110 here.
It is.
Amy Marks Core's Chris Ranji, welcome into the show. Happy Monday to you. 314-436-7900. Call us and text us. We're also... Dude, you okay? Amy just passed out on the microphone. 314-436-7900 Odyssey app. Listen to us there and also leave us voice messages right from the app. We are streaming live too. Did you know that? On Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can look at us if you want.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Speaking of the desert, we got Saharan dust. It's here in St. Louis. Also Canadian smoke. I hope we get a haboob.
Wait, I was going to say.
We're going to get a St. Louis haboob.
Are we going to haboob it up here?
I hope so.
Wow.
Anyway, but we're going to talk to AccuWeather. We had the name of the meteorologist, but Matt Pajeski forgot who it is. We will speak to an AccuWeather meteorologist about the weather to expect and the dust and the smoke and all of that stuff. That'll be at 9:30.
And you guys, St. Louis Sheriff Alfred Montgomery. By golly, he's at
This
it
is
again.
my guy. I love this
Not
guy.
handcuffing top jail officials or telling people to roll golden dice or buying golf carts so he can maybe moonlight giving people rides or issuing a new no gossip policy. He fired like 17 people.
It's awesome.
It's going to cost the city
$500,000
in payouts.
The guy's the best.
I wonder if they broke
my
the no
God.
gossip rule. You're all out.
Cardinals lost the series in Texas. City SC, though, how about them? They got a win for the
Oh, my
first
gosh.
time in months.
They did get a win, and can I just say as a quick note, I was out of town, but the piece of news that filtered its way to the mountains was that Olaf Melberg,
Oh, yeah.
the former coach of City SC, was fired, and I thought that had to have been difficult. He get lost in his eyes, get lost in his
my God,
beard.
he's beautiful.
He's a beautiful man.
He's so good looking.
How do you fire him?
I don't know, man, because, well, you know, they got the coach bump, so they fired
Yeah.
their coach, and they got a win. It's about time they got a win.
And you don't like to see anyone lose their job. I'm just saying that Olaf Melberg would have been extra difficult to fire.
Oh, I would have had a tough time firing that guy. Handsome.
Yeah. He kind of has that same vibe of Sean Connery in Hunt for Red October. Like, how could you fire him? You couldn't.
Also in The Rock. Kind of, have you seen The Rock with Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So anyway,
how was your thing?
guys, it was great. It was great. We flew into Reno, which is like 45 minutes from Tahoe. So it's the Reno Tahoe Airport.
Did you go gambling?
Holy moly. There are casinos everywhere.
Yeah, it's Reno.
Yeah, it's like the
It's Nevada.
literally as you're walking off the plane, you can hear Wheel of Fortune and then like fake clapping, and you can hear the ding 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 ding,
Yeah.
like all the machines. There were casinos everywhere. We did not go gambling, but we went to Tahoe. We hiked North Lake Tahoe for several days. Then we drove about 3 hours south down the historic Highway 395 to Mammoth Lakes, California. And we hiked around Mammoth Lakes. We hiked about an hour and a half hours south of Mammoth Lakes and Bishop. There is one entrance, you guys, one entrance to Yosemite from the east. Most of them are from the west, but there's one from the east. It's Tioga Pass. It opened the day before, or the day that we arrived in Mammoth Lakes. So we did spend a day in Yosemite. We were able to go to Tioga Pass, 45 minutes from where we were staying. So we spent a day there, which was incredible. And what's crazy is it makes sense that the Sierra Nevadas are all desert. And then you get to the alpine areas where there's a ton of snow. For instance, Mammoth Mountain still had skiing. They were skiing until June 15th. That's how much snow was in those mountains. So we had to kind of drive to
Well, isn't
different
there always
places.
snow in the upper part, like the higher elevation? There's always snow up there, isn't there?
No, you can hike those paths come July. The snow melts. I've always done fall hiking. I've never done spring hiking, so I've never run into snow. And in Yosemite, we were going to do Clouds Rest, which is an insane hike in Yosemite. If you Google Clouds Rest and you see the view, like it's breathtaking. And there was snow for, I don't know, really the whole way. We had to turn around. We didn't make it because we were sinking into waist deep snow. But I was abandoned by my friends in Yosemite. So here's what happened.
How'd you make it home?
In my underpants. That's how I made it home.
What?
Yeah. So we started the hike. We're about 100 yards into the hike, into like a 14-mile day. We're 100 yards in. And there's a river crossing. And there were two girls ahead of us. And this river crossing is minimum 50 yards long. It's no small river crossing. They take off their shoes. They're like, all right, well, here we go. We're just starting our 14-mile day. They take off their shoes and socks. They roll up their pants and they're wading in. It goes to their shins. It goes to their calves, their knees, their thighs. And then now they're waist deep halfway through this river. And their pants are wet. Everything's wet. And they cross. And it's not swift water, just so people know, because swift water is really dangerous. It's not swift. So I'm like, we got to strip down. We came all the way. We came this way. We're going to do this hike. We're not going to do it in wet pants and shoes and socks. So we stripped down to our unders, Ranj. And
nice.
we hold our backpacks like up over our heads.
Yeah.
And we hold our shoes up and we do this river crossing waist deep. That's fine. We have our whole day hiking, a lot of adventures because it was covered in snow. But you do realize on the way back, you have to do the river crossing. So there is a lake near the river crossing. And I was with two other girls, and it was a mom and a daughter. They decided to jump in the lake. So they're in their unders, and they're like, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to put our shoes on and finish the last 200 yards of the hike in our unders, since we have to do the river crossing anyway. So they're hiking. We get to the river crossing, and right as we get to the river crossing, there are two
Bears.
Two men in their probably late 20s.
Nice.
Through hiking, meaning they've got the big packs. They might be doing 30, 40 miles. They're camping. So they've got everything. They've got more equipment. So since I didn't get in the lake, I'm not in my underpants yet. I got to strip down. So.
But you were naked?
Well, no, I had all my clothes on.
Oh.
They had their underpants on. So they start the crossing. I start taking off my shoes. The guys walk up, start asking questions. Well, how was the hike? How far did you go? Taking my shoes off, taking my socks off. I'm looking. My friends are gone. They've crossed the river. They have abandoned me. They saw the two guys and thought, we're in our underpants. We're getting out of here. They crossed the river. I'm alone. I had to have an entire conversation with these two guys.
Naked?
No, well, I had down to my underpants. Yeah.
Oh.
I think they thought it was a swimsuit, but my friends abandoned me. And I was talking to them like, well, how deep was the snow in Tuolumne Meadows? And what about this? I'm like, I don't know. And I thought maybe they were picking up on the fact that I'm trying to
be naked.
Wasn't naked. I think it was like a swimsuit. Here's the thing: underpants and swimsuits are the same thing. But anyway, they abandoned me. And
they're really not.
They feel like it, though. They feel like it,
but they're not.
So
because when unders get wet, you can see things.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
Not if you have nice underpants. At any rate, this is not the conversation I want to be having. Except for
you started it.
I was abandoned.
You're the one who got naked in front of strangers.
I was abandoned.
Oh man, you started
so we get back. And I was like, unbelievable. You guys left me. And they're like, we were in our underpants. I'm like, I know you were. And they said, well, we figured you'd be fine. And so I answered a ton of questions about the trail. So that was just one adventure that we had. I will say when you're hiking in the mountains, you do have a different standard. Everyone's just trying to survive. You're just trying to get through. And I think they were genuinely concerned because I told them that we turned back. They were trying to get to the famous Half Dome. And in the meadows.
The famous Half Dome.
Everybody knows the Half Dome.
Everybody
in
knows
Yosemite.
about the Half Dome.
They do. And so we were like, we would take a step and we'd sink waist deep into snow. And then you'd be on top of it and then you'd sink waist deep. And it actually got pretty dangerous because you know what you can't see? Crevasses.
Oh, yeah, those are dangerous.
You could fall all the way through a crevasse.
Can I ask you something? Why did you guys have to take your pants off to cross the river? Why can't you just go in the...
Because you had 14 miles to hike and you would have been soaking wet and walking through snow.
It wouldn't have dried? Oh, because it was cold.
Well, it was warm at the bottom, but yeah, once you got to altitude and also like blisters, you don't want your hiking boots soaking wet.
Okay.
Yeah. You needed to stay as dry. Your whole goal in hiking is to stay as dry as possible, as long as possible, because at some point, like You're going to be sweating. It may be 90 degrees where you're starting. And then by the time you get to elevation, it could be 50 and a wind could blow. And it's really, really cool. So you bring layers, but no, you do not want to hike 14 miles in soaking wet boots and pants.
Oh, yeah, that's probably bad.
Yeah. But anyway, we didn't make it to Clouds Rest, but we had an adventure and we were sliding down the mountain on snow because there was so much snow in Yosemite. It was an adventure for sure.
At least you didn't die.
We could have died.
You didn't see any wild animals?
There were very few.
No bears?
No bears. And that's what worried me because it was a little too quiet.
Oh, you thought maybe you were being stalked?
You know who stalks you? Mountain lions. They say if you're hiking, you're being stalked by mountain
lions. There's a weird thing with cats, like the big cats, that they have this instinct that if your back is turned to them, they like to pounce on you.
Well, and also they chirp. They go like, and you hear it and you think it's a bird. Those are mountain lions talking to each other.
Oh.
They can be. That's what I can't tell the difference between mountain lion chirps and bird chirps. So the fact that we didn't actually die is amazing. I will say this about Highway 395 in California. I picture California as dense with people and lush. The eastern side of California, it's all desert.
Mm-hmm.
All desert. And every town we drove through, if you've seen the movie Cars, felt like Radiator Springs.
Cars? Is it the cartoon?
Yeah.
Is that the one with
Lightning McQueen?
I don't know. But isn't Luke Wilson in it?
Yeah.
Or Owen Wilson?
Owen Wilson and Paul Newman is Doc.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But every little town was like Radiator Springs. Like you could see the tumbleweeds.
Well, Amy,
I made it.
It's good to have you back.
It was so fun.
It is good to have you back.
We ate a lot of beef sticks.
You had a lot of beef sticks?
Yeah.
I love a good beef stick.
Was Kevin Wheeler there?
Oh my God, Kevin Wheeler loves beef sticks.
Yeah, that's a great hiking food. I love it. The best part of hiking is hiking with like snacks.
Oh, snacks are great.
But you feel like you earn the snacks. You're like, I need these snacks. These snacks are keeping me alive. Like that's why it's so fun.
Well, glad you didn't get eaten by a bear or a mountain lion.
Those are the scary ones.
And I'm glad that you took your pants off in front of strangers.
I know.
I love that.
I had a whole conversation.
I love that for you. Good job. Amy Marks Kors is here.
Creeks out, cheeks out.
We will talk to an AccuWeather meteorologist of some name we don't know. Because Matt Pajeski talked to AccuWeather, and then
all right.
Listen, I love this. That he's like, can we talk to somebody about the dust storm and all this other stuff? And they go, yes, you're going to be speaking to so and so, and he goes, got it. And then he got off the phone. And he goes, I don't remember who they told me. We're talking to some meteorologist.
It's not Heather Zare.
No,
it's not Heather Zare.
John Furyk.
No,
is it Joe Lundberg?
No. You just want to name off every.
Is it Bill Lumberg?
No,
you don't even know.
Oh,
come on, Matt.
Neither of those guys.
That's why you got to stay with us. Find out which meteorologist we're talking to.
What a tease. Also, from the Playadors, great local band. We're going to be talking to Dave Grelly and Neil Salsic. They will be here in studio because they are putting on a concert on Saturday at Del Mar Hall to raise money for tornado victims. So Dave and Neil will be here at 10 o'clock. Matt Pauley, host of Sports Open Line, will talk about the Redbirds' weekend. Didn't go great in Texas. They dropped 2 of 3.
Well,
Chris Saliza joins us, political commentator. He's with us every Monday. He will be with us at 11 o'clock. Just a big show for you today. It's Amy Marks Kors. She is here. She is back from California. I'm Chris Ranji. I've never left because I care about you. I don't leave. I stay here, and I take care of you, St. Louis. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Okay, so we were early enough in the season hiking that we actually only saw a couple of mosquitoes because mosquitoes are a huge deal, especially in a place called Mammoth Lakes. Yeah, the mosquitoes are bad. And that reminded me, I saw this monster of a mosquito in the kitchen that I need to call Rottler and make sure that I get that treatment from Rottler where they can locate and treat mosquito breeding sites around your home. They have a product that's specifically formulated to control mosquito larvae for weeks at a time. That's going to significantly reduce the mosquito population around your home. And that is key because you have your deck, you've done all the landscaping, you just want to sit outside, graduation parties, birthday parties, maybe listening to the Cardinals game. Nothing ruins it when you start getting eaten up and everyone's slapping their legs because they're getting bitten. So call Rottler. Also, they protect against fleas and ticks too. So their Signature Plus program is an effective measure to stop fleas and ticks from invading your yard. That way you'll be protected and so will your pets. It's a win-win-win. Call Rottler. They stand behind their work. Rottler.com for your free inspection.
I'm Emma Greed, and I've spent the last 20 years building, running, and investing in some incredible businesses. The more success I've had, the more people started coming to me with questions. How do you start a business? How do you raise money? How do I bounce back from failure? On my new podcast, Aspire with Emma Greed, I'll be answering these questions and more through weekly conversations with the smartest minds out there. Listen to and follow Aspire with Emma Greed, an Odyssey podcast available now, wherever you get your podcasts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
But do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
Amy, I know you couldn't wait to get back because you missed our sheriff, our St. Louis sheriff, Alfred Montgomery, who's at it again.
I did.
I decided last week that I love this guy.
Okay, you did say that.
I love him.
This morning.
He's awesome.
This morning, Ronj did bring up, he goes,
awesome.
I love this sheriff. He just doesn't care.
I hope he never loses his job. I hope that we have him.
He's trying
forever.
his darndest, though.
Dude, he is unbelievable. So he is So we know about all the stuff that he's done, like asking one of his deputies to roll dice, golden dice to keep his job, wanting the several thousands of dollars for golf carts, telling a reporter that they were not allowed to film on the public steps of the courthouse.
And while I was gone, he issued a no gossip policy.
A no gossip policy that he's asking everybody who works in the office to sign. So he has fired more than a dozen staffers, and it is costing the city now $500,000, $500,000, because all of these employees now have to be paid out per the contracts that they have. So Donna Behringer, the comptroller, said that by law, the city is required to pay them their accrued leave when they left the sheriff's office. This happened. She said, quote, he fired all those people, and that was what we owed them. So now the city is on the hook for $500,000 for people who no longer work for the city. So we are paying people to do nothing.
It said
because of the sheriff.
Yeah, he fired 17 people, and many of them had spent decades in the office, meaning they had vacations and other things that had built up that needed to be paid out. 17. I guess legally, Ronj, can you, as the sheriff, just go in and fire 17 people?
I don't know.
Is it some kind of executive action that falls within your purview as the sheriff? Because I don't think our boss, Steve, could he just without reason fire 17
people
of us? Yeah.
Well, he'd probably have to answer to corporate on that one.
I know. That's what I mean.
Excuse me, Steve, you fired how many people in your office?
There's only 14 people that work there.
And you fired 7. You fired an extra 3 people.
You don't even work here. That's what makes this so difficult.
I don't think that you could do that.
That's what I mean. Some kind of, and maybe because within, like I said, his purview, he can. I know there is turnover, like with a new mayor, you can replace department heads, but this feels different than that. And that is also, you can't say it's to save money because he cost the city about $500,000. And again, he fired people who had been there for decades.
Which is why they've accrued all this time off, which they get paid for. I mean, I've been let go before.
I don't even know why we have a sheriff's office. Yes.
I've been let go before, and that's I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but I had to be paid out for all the vacation I hadn't taken. And I think that's true for a lot of places. So you've got these people had these paid time off, whatever it's, a vacation or whatever else, and they had to get paid for all of it.
And
it's just not, I don't know. Maybe all 17 of these people are terrible employees and should not be working there. That's me giving the benefit of the doubt to the sheriff, but I doubt that's the case. I doubt that all 17 of these people needed to be let go. And I wonder if it has anything to do with that whole the agreement he wanted everybody to sign.
Yeah.
The loyalty agreement or whatever. The no gossip agreement. Maybe they refused. Maybe some of them did. I have no idea. I can only speculate here. But this is it's like insane behavior.
It's insane behavior. Yeah, and he's 28 years old, and there are aldermen who endorsed him, and you might be wondering, well, why did they endorse him if they didn't know who this guy was? Because I think there are some major questions around his alleged credentials and what experience he may or may not have. He was not shockingly fired from his last job. But the thing is, a lot of the aldermen who endorsed him just were really against former Sheriff Vernon Betts. They wanted him out.
Yeah.
So they voted for the new guy. They endorsed the new guy because they just really wanted the old guy out. It does,
that happens
but
a lot,
man,
and sometimes to the detriment of the office or the entity, right? I mean, you shouldn't always operate like that, but I get it. I get wanting to move on, but it's always like the devil, right? Yeah. Sometimes it's better. Sometimes it's better to keep the person who is in charge.
There are selfish people. There are dumb people. We all know people like that. We all work with people like that. But can you put yourself in what frame of mind would you have to be in to operate the way Alfred Montgomery is operating right now with the golden dice, with firing people, with the no gossip policy? Are you dumb? Are you insane? Are you a narcissist? Like, I'm trying to get, because people can be bad people, but have some self-awareness. Like, listen, I gotta dig my claws in slowly here. This guy's insane.
It feels like an Andy Kaufman, some sort of bit, or a Nathan Fielder. Like there's a put on here. I don't know what it is.
I could picture Phil Hartman playing this guy, walking up to the water cooler on Saturday Night Live and go, no gossip policy.
Phil Hartman?
Yes.
Of all people, that's who you picked?
An old schooler. It could be John Lithgow. Is that not John Lithgow? John Lovitz.
Oh, John Lovitz.
It could be one of those old, to me, this feels like an old school SNL skit. I'm not picturing Bill Hader. I'm picturing like Phil Hartman or John Lovitz going, no gossip, no gossip policy.
Dude, I love the no gossip policy.
Like,
it's so good.
Picture John Lovitz going, and golf carts. I want golf carts. Sir, why do you need golf carts? I need golf carts.
Well, everybody's talking about this sheriff and maybe they need to do something about him. I disagree. I love it. I hope he never goes anywhere. I hope he is our sheriff for the next 30 years. I love it.
Is that because he doesn't have any real authority? His
guess.
job is to like walk people across the street.
Well,
walk prisoners across the street.
And I do want him to start riding a horse, because I think sheriffs should not get cars. They should have to ride horses.
Well, now what is he going to do with golf carts?
No, forget the golf cart.
He's already
ride the
got
horse.
them. It's too late for the horse.
Sell them. Go to Soulard or the Hill or the Dogtown and sell your golf cart to somebody in the neighborhood. Those people love golf carts. Anyway, I love the sheriff. I hope he's here forever. Amy Martzkors is here. I'm Chris Ranji. When we come back, AccuWeather meteorologist Jeff Nordine will join us. We got to the bottom of that mystery. We'll talk to Jeff when we come back on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
You had a solid retirement dream, sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, You're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Hi, this is Steve Butts with the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. I know we're all experiencing sticker shock when you get your insurance premium. Now more than ever, you need an independent insurance agent to find the best value for your family's insurance needs. Crawford Butts, family owned and operated for more than 60 years. Please give us a call at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com.
Currently, it is 70 degrees and hazy. We talked about the haze from the Canadian wildfires. It's going to be warm today, a high of 90, mostly sunny. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and a high of 89.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. For over 65 years, Renner Garage Door has delivered top-notch service, sales, and installation. Get your free estimate today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back.
RENNER. RENNER. Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins yet? Because if you haven't, you're missing out on technology that changes how you think about shoes. First, these are not just regular slip-on shoes. They're not just a pair of loafers without laces. But what makes them different is the technology inside that lets you just step into them. There's a built-in hidden shoehorn that slides your foot in, so they look, feel, and wear just like a pair of shoes you're used to. Except you don't have to bend down, struggle to put them on, or touch them. Try them at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit CantorInjuryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Seichman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ranji, 104.1 FM, KMOX, and you may have heard about the Saharan dust and the Canadian wildfire smoke that is going to be hanging around here in the area for a while. Also, it's going to be hot.
It is hot.
So we'll talk about the weather for this week and what to expect. We go to the guest line today, and we visit with AccuWeather meteorologist Jeff Nordine, who's on KMOX. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good. Did you hear Amy's her forecast? What did you think of it?
I think she did a great job reading it.
Oh, well, thank you, Jeff. Thank you very much. Well, we buried the lead here, Jeff, because my co-host, Chris Ranji, had a very unique experience. He was once in Arizona.
Yep.
Caught up in a haboob.
I was in a haboob.
He was in a haboob.
I had to outrun the haboob.
And he wants to know if this Saharan dust that it's making its way across the Midwest will allow him to be in his second haboob.
Well, it's not just Saharan dust. It's the wildfire smoke. And so you got two different types of particulate matter that are going to be floating around in the atmosphere. And actually, it's very interesting to look at the satellite loop. It's not moving. The dust and smoke is literally stagnant over the entire state of Missouri. Thankfully, it is elevated, not at the surface.
So,
can I say, because isn't it actually really bad for you? Like any type of wildfire smoke. And
Wildfire,
smoke. Okay, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff. Get her.
Sorry.
Get her.
Wildfire smoke and particulate matter. Like I've always read that's actually pretty bad to breathe in.
Yeah, it is. Once it gets down to the surface, it can really cause people who have existing, respiratory problems. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I have a family of medicine a lot of my family members are doctors and stuff. So they tell me this all the time, but it can enhance any issues like asthma or what's the other respiratory illness? I can't remember the name. It's escaping me now. But anyways, anyone with existing issues with that can be enhanced. And those who don't have it, trust me, there was a year that it was really bad. Like it got down to the ground level. And you literally inhale and you just feel unable to take a deep breath. So it can worsen those who are healthy too.
Emphysema?
That was one, but
okay.
Chronic
COPD.
COPD.
Yes, thank you.
Black lung.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just reading earlier today, Jeff, that because it's hurricane season in the States, like Texas and Florida and all that, that this dust is actually affecting the weather, that it's somehow tampering hurricanes from forming because it's in the air. So how does that affect hurricanes, and how will it affect our weather here?
Well, in a very short summary of it all, so the Saharan dust, when it comes off of the coast of Africa, will dry out the atmosphere over the water. So hurricanes rely on moisture. And if Saharan dust is in there, that's a very dry particulate matter, and it basically suffocates any potential development. So anything in the Saharan dust is not going to develop, or it's going to struggle if it does. To the south of that, where the dust isn't, we do have a very steady stream of moisture kicking off of the coast of Africa. And that's where we could see development potential. In fact, we're kind of keeping an eye on something for June 12th over Central America. And then in the next week, we're keeping an eye on a potential rainstorm, maybe a depression. We're still, all of us here at AccuWeather are back and forth on it, off of the coast of Florida in the next 5-ish days, or 4 to 5 days.
Wow. Yeah. And we were talking about the next 4 or 5 days, just kind of going back to that smoke, since you mentioned that it's not moving. Now, like you said, it's aloft, which is good. It's higher up. We're not breathing it in. So at least right now, it's not affecting our health. How long do we think it will stay over us if it's not moving?
Yeah, seeing the forecast model of vertically integrated smoke is what we call it. It clears out with the showers and thunderstorms that we're going to have tomorrow, because a front is going to push through. It's a kind of a weak front, but it's going to push through with potentially some strength, meaning not the actual front itself, but the storms that pop up as a result could be on the stronger side. So tomorrow is a weather aware day. Same thing for Wednesday. That's when we could see some hail and damaging winds, and all that also takes out the dust. The saying of in the wintertime, you don't always want to lick the snow that falls. It's because it's picking up whatever's in the air.
I've never heard that.
Yes, you have. Don't eat
No,
the
I
yellow
haven't.
snow.
Oh, yellow snow.
Watch out where those reindeer go, and don't you eat the yellow snow.
But even as it's falling, you're picking up what's in the atmosphere. So with this rain that's coming up tomorrow, if there's still some smoke in the atmosphere, it can pick that up. And all of a sudden, you're basically drinking, smoke.
Liquid
particles.
smoke. Okay, this is dumb. I'm not a horticulturalist, and I'm not great with plants.
I'm not either, so this is going to be fun.
Okay. Let's speculate wildly. Does the rain that has the smoke and ash or whatever, is that extra good for your plants or bad?
That would be a great question for someone from like Bachman's or, an actual garden store. as far as my knowledge, I don't believe it's going to matter to the plant. It still gets its water, it'll extract it, and then any other things it doesn't need, it will discard in some way.
Well, and the reason I ask too, so Jeff, I just got back from a hiking trip in the Eastern Sierra Nevadas, and it is so dry there, like mind-blowingly dry. And I understand now why, like, the fear of wildfires. And we were talking to some locals and just kind of the science behind wildfires, where obviously destruction to homes and neighborhoods is really bad. But if there's no home in the way, if there's no neighborhood, the wildfires are actually just a natural process that are good for that. It's good for that environment. And we've actually prevented a lot of wildfires for obvious reasons, but it's just part of the natural cycle of that area, the wildfires that are there.
Yeah, I mean, in areas where homes aren't, it is how vegetation renews its soil, oddly enough, because like you've heard of, everyone has heard of controlled burns, right? At like someone's farm field, they do that to get rid of the dead brush, and then they have a fresh slate to work with. So nature does that in the form of thunderstorms that go over these dry areas, and thunderstorms that don't bring rain. It's just lightning. So lightning hits the dry brush, starts it on fire. Yes, it's a wildfire. Yes, we need to contain it before it gets to populated areas, but it really does wipe the slate and lets nature take over again. It's kind of interesting. There was a time lapse. It was like a video of sorts that I saw where it simulated a wildfire, and then all of a sudden you've never seen greener life, sprout. Yeah. Like it turns really green. It turns vibrant. It looks great. But that's also a simulation, not reality. And also simulations can go out, 10, 20 years ahead of time.
AccuWeather meteorologist Jeff Nordine is with us, and we know it's going to be hot here for the next couple of days, not like St. Louis summer hot, where it's 100 degrees and humid, but it will get warm. So we are now getting to that point where the weather is starting to warm up in St. Louis. Do we expect it to be a typical summer here? Is it going to be warmer than usual or cooler than usual? How do you see it?
So in the long range, we've been trending above normal for the summer. In fact, our latest graphic for June has a 1 to 2 degree departure from the average temperature, which the average temperature hasn't quite been established yet because our data just came in. We just have 1 day of June so far. But typically the average temperature is around 68 degrees, and that's taking every single day's average, adding it up and divided by 30. So we're looking to be about a degree or two above that by the end of the month. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, good. I tried to do the math as easy as possible.
Math is not his strong
It's not my
suit.
thing, man.
Yeah,
it's not mine either, believe it or not.
Aren't you supposed to be good at it?
We're supposed to be good at it if we're research people, not broadcasters.
Oh.
Broadcasters don't need the math. They just need to understand how to interpret everything.
Because Ranj told, I think it was you, Ranj, that said that meteorology
in
was
college.
Like the hardest class
so
ever.
There were, and I don't know if, I'm assuming the meteorologists take this as an insult, but I remember, when you're in college, you have to take certain science courses to fulfill the requirement, right? And so people who aren't in science, they have to take a class. So I knew a lot of people who just looked at the courses and went, oh, meteorology, I'll do that, thinking it was going to be really easy. And it ended up being really hard. Every person I talked to who took that class, who was not a science-minded person, said it was impossibly hard.
It is. It is very hard. And let me tell you, it took me 7 years to get through it. So
how many is it supposed to take, Jeff?
You are hearing it first.
Are you a doctor of meteorology now?
No, that was 7 years to get my bachelor's.
Jeff, I like you.
I'm a very likable person.
He's keeping it.
Because some of you weather people, I'm telling you,
it's very. I like Jeff a lot.
Yeah, Jeff's great.
Like I'm still knowledgeable. I'm still able to tell people what to do, what they need to prepare for. But also, I'm able to laugh.
Yes.
I'm not like locked in, and I'm not a nerd who's afraid to talk.
Yeah, I love that you're not a nerd.
Well, let me say, I need to stand up for nerds. Yeah, I'm kind of a nerd. But Jeff, we actually have someone texting in who said that fact, I struggled to get a C in meteorology. Like he was struggling to get that grade.
Dave is watching us on YouTube and said that. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody said it is really, really hard, and they all thought it was going to be easy because I guess the feeling is that meteorologists just don't know what they thing. And I disagree. I think that's what
Jeff,
that's
I
what
agree.
these
Ron
people
took
think.
it too far.
How many times have you heard somebody that they don't know what they're talking about? These
I've heard it
meteorologists.
1,000 times. I hear it daily. But it's laughable, as Amy did.
What do you do when somebody says that to you? You don't know
I
what
say,
you're doing.
bah, ha, ha, okay, whatever.
We had a meteorologist in St. Louis who said he got frustrated. He goes, I've had people tell me to stick my Doppler radar where the sun don't shine.
That's not very nice.
Because they get mad. But like, I will say I am so grateful for the meteorologist because it's different than the phones. The phones just don't cut it. Jeff, I'd love to get your opinion on that. Like, I guess the phones give you a general idea when you just pull up a weather app, but it's different than, it doesn't give you the nuance of what you're looking at.
Right. Well, and the phones, depending on your app choice, AccuWeather should be yours. But it depends on your choice of where you get the weather from, because everyone has their own interpretation. We are a team of meteorologists that we meet up at 4 and at 9. So we already met up, just 30 minutes ago to go over all the forecast data, all of what's going on now, and what the updated forecast is, and how we need to make adjustments. There's some weather apps that don't do that. They just release whatever comes out. And it's like, are you sure there's smoke there now? Like, and we actually go down and grab the observations and see, is there haze being reported there or not? So we go in and clean it up, whereas other weather apps may not. I'm not saying they do or don't. I'm not, going to get into the nuances of that.
Well, I love AccuWeather. And I love our meteorologists, and we appreciate you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
This has been really fun. I want to come back on daily.
Yes.
You guys are great.
Day. We want to have you on because we have weather questions, and I will say sometimes the questions don't go over
Makes
that
sense.
big.
Oh.
Well, like sometimes they don't go over that big. Where I have real questions about the different phenomenon we're experiencing, and so anyway, Jeff, this has been a blast, and we appreciate it. We appreciate you.
Hey, it's my pleasure. You guys just feel free to reach out anytime.
Wait, real quick. Is it possible that we can get a haboob here?
He really wants a haboob.
See, you lost me when you said that. I was trying to Google it with the time I had, and I'm like, I don't actually know what that is, and I apologize. I don't know what that is.
You don't know what a haboob is? It's a
I
dust
do
storm.
not.
Oh, man. It's a dust
Oh,
storm.
it's a dust storm.
Yeah.
See, like, that's a phrase. I just call it a dust storm. See, that's where my nerd comes out. I don't know the phrases. I just know the actual name.
A haboob is a lot more fun to say.
Yeah, they just had a Chicago
Yes,
haboob.
it is. So now I will add that to my dictionary.
Well, thank you,
A
Jeff.
haboob.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yep.
Yeah. Jeff Nordine, AccuWeather meteorologist. I feel like I know a lot more about the weather. And we
So
taught him
does
what
Jeff.
a haboob was. He's like, a haboob? I didn't know about that. Now he's going to tell all of his friends.
He was probably worried at first, like, what kind of show am I on?
Should I know what a haboob is? It's Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji, 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call us now. $30 billion was set aside for meso victims. And in most cases, your claim is settled out of court without a jury trial. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The smartest way to do your homework is Hackman Lumber.
Warm weather means homework for homeowners. And for 80 years, Hackman Lumber has been the trusted name for home improvement. If your homework means a new deck, turn to the deck experts at Hackman Lumber. Browse the largest inventory of decking materials and accessories in Missouri. Talk with our experts about treated lumber, cedar, TimberTech, Trex, Envision, Decorators, and Duralife to find the perfect deck for you. Choose from endless railings, balusters, and LED deck lighting options. Hackman Lumber has been serving homeowners and pros for 80 years, and they will not be undersold on in-stock decking materials guaranteed.
guaranteed. Whether you DIY with their expert advice or need a trusted contractor, Hackman has you covered. They are now an authorized steel dealer and stock a huge selection of grills. So celebrate summer with a new Big Green Egg, pellet grills, Weber gas, or charcoal grill, and all the accessories you need for the perfect backyard setup. Visit Hackman Lumber's showrooms in St. Charles, Pacific, and Troy, Missouri, or HackmanSTL.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Charlie Brennan with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. What can people expect when they visit one of your doctors at the Audiology Center?
Expect a friendly greeting and a waiting room stocked full of refreshments. But more importantly, a patient should expect that they're treated on an individual basis. We are not retail, and we pride ourselves on our medical model. Each hearing aid is catered towards each patient's unique needs. Expect a full history intake where we get to know you and your personal needs. And then we'll complete a full battery of tests where we can adequately diagnose your hearing health. We want you to understand those results right away. So directly following your tests, we're going to go over everything extensively. Finally, at that time, we'll develop a customized treatment plan built around you as an individual.
The Audiology Center, 3 locations in the St. Louis area, 636-441-7470. The Audiology Center, STL.com.
Cardinal Cowboy here. After proving the doctors wrong following my accident, I got back to baseball, started kicking field goals, and finally got paid as a pro kicker and ultimately became a leader in the marketing world. That's why I trust Renner Garage Door, exceeding expectations for over 65 years. They service, sell, and install top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster. Get your free quote today. Check them out at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
Community America is stepping up in St. Louis and showing what excellence in banking looks like. Or in other words, they're winning. Opening more branches? Win. Competitive loan rates? Win. Wealth management? Win. Which now makes sense why they asked me, Cardinal shortstop Mason Wynn, to tell you. That's win with 2 N's, not one. It's time to bank like the Mason winner you are. It's time your financial partner was invested in you. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Ranj, I don't think it's too late to save Chesterfield Mall.
Actually, Amy, I think it is now officially too late.
Is that because they finished the demolition?
Yeah.
The demolition is complete. I think with the right attitude, though.
We could bring it back?
I think so. I think we should make that our cause. Save Chesterfield Mall.
Yeah, we're supposed to, as a show, have a cause.
Mhm.
What if our cause is bringing back Chesterfield Mall?
So, I mean, it doesn't help. The first line of this news story, quote, Chesterfield Mall is no more.
Oh, damn.
That's a bad one. That's a bad start. It's a bad start because it is now completely demolished. It's done if you've seen it, and a new $2 billion redevelopment is slated to take its place. But I think with the right attitude.
What if how funny would it be if the $2 billion redevelopment thing that's going to happen, the little downtown Chesterfield, what if the real plan was just to completely rebuild Chesterfield Mall exactly as it was before?
I would die of happiness.
I think that'd be great.
Pretzel Time would come back. The pasta house in the corner.
I do miss
across
that
from
mall.
the pet shop.
I miss that mall quite a bit.
Yeah, I do too.
Did you see, so you know that we've got the Savannah Bananas coming to town July 19th? I think it's July 19th, that Friday, Saturday, that weekend. And John Lackey pitched for the Savannah Bananas, former Cardinal. He appeared in a game for them over the weekend. How about that?
That's pretty funny.
It is fun.
Was he trying? You know what I mean? Like, was he trying?
Like, I assume. I didn't see the entire appearance, but I saw him come out and take the mound in a Bananas
funny.
uniform. Jake Peavy, pitcher, a big league pitcher, had done it before. So we've seen some big league players come through and make appearances for the Bananas, but former Cardinal John Lackey was pitching for them over the weekend. I think that's cool.
Do you know who batted for the Savannah Bananas over the weekend?
I do not.
The great Hambino, a.k.a. Ham Porter from the Sandlot.
Oh, really?
He did. I think he struck out.
Well,
he looks the same, which is incredible.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got that baby face thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
He's
and the red
redhead.
hair.
Yeah.
Yep. The great Hambino. He definitely looks the exact same, but he did indeed. Hey, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'd rather hear whatever you have to say.
Well, I will just say this. On my trip, we were right next to Donner Pass and in the mountains, and there's the Donner Path. You remember the Donners?
Oh, they ate each other.
Yeah, that's the Donner Party. That's why it's called Donner Pass. Well, we couldn't go up there because, not surprisingly, still covered in snow. That was the situation they found themselves in. So one of the girls that I was with, I went with my friend and her 2 daughters, college-age daughters. I said, oh my gosh, I said, Donner Pass. This is the Donner Party. This is where they got stuck. Do you remember what happened? And she goes, I think so. I go, well, they got stuck in the winter and they ended up eating each other. And she goes, oh, I thought they were polygamists, but this is worse.
Polygamy is way better
than cannibalism.
Yeah, way better.
The Donner Party got stuck in the winter and they all married each other.
Okay, you have a choice. You could be married to multiple people, or you have to eat your friends. I think I would take the polygamy.
So we were laughing. We're like, yes, polygamy is better than cannibalism.
Oh, it's far better.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's, well, I'm glad you didn't
We
get
didn't
stuck
die.
up there.
Yeah, well, we couldn't get stuck up there because we didn't go up there because it was covered in snow.
Amy, did you see that we have been nominated for St. Louis's A-list?
Oh my gosh.
On St. Louis Magazine?
I did see that.
It's because we're awesome.
Obviously.
But for the for Talk News radio show.
So how do people vote for us?
You got to go to St. Louis Magazine and do it.
You can vote every day.
STLmag.com. Yeah, go vote for us because we're awesome.
It's also pinned on our Twitter account.
Oh, at Chris Amy KMOX. Is it pinned?
Yes, it is.
We got the pin?
We got the pin.
And you
go
gotta
to the pin.
Go to the pin and vote for us every day because I think, unfortunately, we're up against the Dave Glover show.
Glover and
Yeah.
a couple other things.
Yeah.
That we don't really need to mention.
So-
Just go vote for us so that we can feel better about ourselves and throw it in our boss's face.
Well, I don't
Fa-
really want to.
Yeah,
I
'cause
love our boss. I don't want to throw anything in his face.
I would like to throw this in his face.
Honestly, self-esteem, I think, would really take a boost. I need a boost.
Yeah, and then we could throw it in his face.
Well.
Like, oh, you don't like what we did, Steve? Well, we just won this. What are you going to do about that?
We won best opinion.
Ah, that's great. Who cares?
It's rigged.
You're fired. Like, what? We just won.
So vote for us. Go to KMOX, at Chris Amy KMOX on Twitter. It's pinned. You can vote for us every single day.
We're awesome. That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. When we come back from the Playadors, Dave Grelly and Neil Salsic, St. Louis, and a really great band. The Playadors are a lot of fun, and they are very, very good. And they are putting on a concert at Delmar Hall this Saturday to benefit tornado victims. We're going to talk to Dave and Neil. They're in studio next on KMOX.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Your Leaf Filter Trusted Pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Start your summer with a weekend showdown. Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers roll into Busch Stadium June 6th through the 8th. Be there Friday for a cool new promo, the first ever Cardinals neck fan. Perfect for hot game days. Then on Sunday, young fans 15 and under take home a Rawlings Kids Glove. It's a weekend of big matchups and big giveaways. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Mason Wynn, St. Louis Cardinals, for the Loop.
Catch a Cardinals game on your next date night or friends night out. Whether it's love in the stands or laughter with your crew, nothing beats ballpark vibes under the lights. Cold drinks, great eats, and Cardinals baseball. Check out Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium and enjoy happy hour price food and drinks all game long. Every Friday home game. Get your tickets today at Cardinals.com and make memories that go beyond the scoreboard. Busch Stadium, where great nights begin.
It is 10 o'clock and we've got sunshine, 74 degrees in downtown St. Louis. The suspect accused of carrying out a fire attack in Boulder, Colorado is expected to make his first court appearance sometime today. Police say the man targeted demonstrators gathering to honor Israeli hostages. He had Molotov cocktails and a makeshift flamethrower. At least 8 people are hurt and one more in critical condition. Here's CBS News' Ashley Portillo.
The suspect is now in custody. He is a 45-year-old male. His name is Solomon Mohammed. Solomon, as you mentioned, too, allegedly yelling "Free Palestine" as he was carrying out those horrific attacks on Sunday afternoon.
More on Ukraine's large-scale drone attack by Ukraine deep inside Russia and what President Volodymyr Zelensky is saying.
He said Ukraine managed to launch over 100 drones, that each one was flown by its own drone operator, and that they were launched from inside Russia, targeting 5 air bases across the country, even as far east as Russia's Far East, 3,700 miles away.
That's CBS's Rami Inocencio. A new movement aims to keep Missouri lawmakers from overturning voter-approved ballot measures. The Respect Missouri Voters Coalition hopes to gather 300,000 signatures by next April to get a measure on the 2026 ballot. The group's Benjamin Singer tells MissouriNet it would do 3 things.
It would ban politicians from overturning initiatives that voters have already passed, ban politicians from attacking our ability to use the initiative process, and 3, manipulating the language on ballots and basically lying to voters to mislead them at the ballot.
The coalition is looking for about 1,200 volunteers to start gathering the signatures in July. The Illinois Department of Agriculture lifting its ban on poultry sales and exhibitions at events like swap meets, flea markets, and auctions. That ban had been put in place since February due to the threat of avian flu. Officials say the risk has dropped, but to keep following proper protocols to prevent spreading the disease. A campaign from the U.S. Postal Service aims to reduce the growing number of dog attacks, especially in Chicago, which ranked number 3 on a list of cities with the most dog attacks behind Los Angeles and Houston. In 2024, the number of incidents involving dog attacks on Postal Service employees rose more than 6,000 by more than 6,000. 6,000 dog attacks. The United States Postal Service hosting its National Dog Bite Awareness campaign, offering safety tips to dog owners, including keeping dogs in a separate room away from the door when mail's being delivered and not taking mail directly from a letter carrier. The weather right now
Hazy sunshine and hot this afternoon, high 92. Partly cloudy tonight, low 71. Mostly cloudy tomorrow with an afternoon thunderstorm, high 91. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Carl Erickson, 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's sunny and 74 degrees at 10:03. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888. Who you choose to sell your home matters. One small mistake can cost you thousands. Add Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realtor, to your list at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
I know who this is. Do you know who this is, Amy?
I do. Is it are they sitting next to us?
I think they're sitting next to us. The Playadores. At least a couple of them are here. Neil Salsick and Dave Grelly. They are putting on a concert on Saturday coming up here at Del Mar Hall to raise money for those affected by the tornadoes. So we've got Dave and Neil from the Playadores with us now. How's it going, guys?
Yo. It's going. All right. All things considered.
Can I just say, who wrote the phrase "an all-star amalgam"?
Oh, was that written somewhere?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's me. Straight from the horse's mouth here.
I like it. An all-star amalgamation of St. Louis's top musicians and vocalists.
I love alliteration.
Oh, you
Big
gotta
fan.
love alliteration.
It's my favorite.
That's all I had for you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
No, this is awesome. June 7th, Del Mar Hall. The Playadores' first annual family affair.
Yeah, we're very excited.
So tell us about it.
So originally, the whole idea of this family affair thing was conceived from just the nature of the band. Playadores is a consistent rotating cast of some of St. Louis's finest vocalists, musicians, and, depending on the gig, we just swap people out, and it's always a fun, different experience. So I wanted to put on a show that celebrated all of the band, all of these crazy, talented musicians and friends of mine, and basically have a party on stage with St. Louis watching. So it is all Playadores Nation from past, present, and we have some new players with us this year. Yeah, we're very excited about it.
So how many people are in the band now?
It's
a collective, man.
Yeah,
so it changes all the time.
This show will feature over 20 plus musicians on stage.
I was gonna say, like,
rotating in and out.
You've heard of the Mendoza line in baseball. I have the Edward Sharp and the Magnetic Zeros line.
Oh yeah,
The Edward Sharp line, is it above or below?
I think we're above.
You're above
on many levels.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I'm just kidding there. But yeah, so that was the original plan, and then yeah.
Don't worry, it's been real slow in this room today.
It's the heat, man. It's kind of sedating me.
It's a little sticky and slow.
I would have said spicy.
It is spicy in here, and the AC stopped working, so
Yeah.
it always goes out when it's hot.
Yeah, that's generally how it works.
Always, every single time. So the show's what time you get started on Saturday?
So we start. Doors are at 7, and then our friends from Austin, Texas, are coming up. Tomar and the FCs, they will be opening the show, and then we're on right around 9. And originally we were just going to put on this awesome show, and we were going to make all the money ourselves. We were going to get rich off it.
Yeah.
Especially with 20 plus musicians.
Yeah.
But then I don't know if you guys heard a tornado hit St. Louis. Yeah. Awful. And my kids were actually in school in the Central West End when it hit their school, and everybody's super shaken up in that community. Been volunteering a bunch on the north side and seen all that destruction and devastation. And there was no way we could be promoting a show and having a concert without giving back. So talked to Pat Hagen and the Del Mar Hall people. And we decided that we were going to donate all proceeds to tornado relief efforts.
Wow.
And yeah, it just felt like something we had to do. So
this show was originally planned before the storm hit, and now you're going to take all that money and give to the effort.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's the plan.
That's incredible. I mean, that's such a way to give back to the community. And I think for people who like have volunteered, have donated items, donated money, whatever it may be, I still have people reaching out saying, how can I help? And this is an incredible opportunity. Like you said, you're raising money. All the proceeds are going to help tornado relief efforts, but you get to see this awesome band. You get to support local musicians and the work that you guys do in that scene. So it's a win-win-win all around.
Unless we suck.
Well, there's that.
Well,
No.
that's not gonna happen.
This band is, I consider it to be the most impressive collection in St. Louis besides the Mighty Pines.
I was going to say, we
the Mighty
mentioned the
Pines,
Mighty
yeah.
Pines,
Okay.
Neil Salsick.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's Dave is like the dad of the band. Okay, it's really is a family, and I just want to give him a shout out for all the work he does. I mean, this is one show with 20 musicians. He's organizing this collective, and that's the best word to describe it, because it's not. It is a band, but it's really Dave's band. It's his vision, and there's always this rotating cast, and like, I'm so fortunate to be invited back and not rotated out too much. I mean, I'm glad I'm rotated in.
Yeah, you're in this one. You're
You
in.
know, it's almost like a sports team. Like sometimes someone's in the lineup, someone's not in the lineup, but then they're back. And then, I mean, it's just so, from a musician's perspective, it's so fun and refreshing and different than like the band that you're always with all the time. You know,
Is it challenging though in any way to play with new people all the time? Because you're playing with multiple bands.
it's
you're
probably
playing with
challenging
multiple-
for Dave, but not for me.
He's the dad.
Yeah.
He's putting it all together.
Yeah, for me, it's actually it's actually easier because there's this inspiration and this energy there with the new singer. Like I'll be singing with someone maybe that I've never met before, weirdly enough, until this rehearsal, which is so bizarre. And you've never met this person, but when you're singing together, you kind of instantly know each other.
So how much rehearsal would you do for a show like this? Are you just showing up and playing?
No.
Okay.
No.
But yeah, ideally we would have had more rehearsals, but we've got 2 this week and it's going to be super locked in because I always want to over prepare. That's just how I am. But like Neil was saying, it is a collective and every time is just different, right? So I think the respect that all the musicians have for each other, everyone shows up super prepared. I try to do as much as I can to help people get prepared, but the work everybody puts in before rehearsal, before the show is, honestly, it makes me kind of tear up that everyone wants to do that for this band. But so it's never like better, worse with different musicians in and out. It's just different and always exciting.
Okay, so this is a totally different question, kind of a rabbit trail question, but shocking, I know.
Amazing.
It was very off brand for me. But thinking about all these musicians coming together, from your perspective, when you see like the We Are the World documentary and how they put all of those singers together and some of the faces, like that Michael Jackson's making it Huey Lewis, what was that like? Like, you know what I'm talking about, right? The documentary of Huey Lewis and bringing all of the singers together, and obviously they did not rehearse. They just pulled it together in one night, but that's going to be chaos, right?
A little bit, but funny story. I actually got to perform with Huey Lewis at, remember Lou Fest, RIP?
Yeah.
We did a Chuck Berry tribute.
Park, right?
Yeah, we did a
I
Chuck
was
Berry
there.
tribute.
I saw you perform with Huey Lewis.
Huey showed up, but all these incredible musicians showed up. People from Cage the Elephant and Dave Matthews Band, and they all showed up. And again, when the level is where it is, you just want to show up and play as well as you can.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but We Are the World. Yeah. And this is not really the same thing, but
it's because none of us are that famous in the scheme of things. That's when you get all those like true superstars together, then it gets weird.
Yeah. But you said Huey, so I had to.
You had a name
I
drop.
had to jump on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the most famous musician you've played with?
Huey? Probably Chuck Berry.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
Dave's got a little list. He could throw some out, man. He's played with some cats.
A few.
That's impressive.
Hey, there's a lot going on in St. Louis.
People
man.
don't know.
People
Don't know what's like right in their backyard.
Because we've talked about that before, that it doesn't get enough credit, but there are a lot of really great local musicians.
who actually are being hired and playing in some crazy big bands, but they might be the band director or they might be the bassist or the drummer. So like they're not, you just wouldn't know, but they're flying out every Thursday for like to Japan or something.
Yep.
Seriously, and playing and coming home. They live right here.
Perfect example, Jamal Nichols, one of my best friends ever, bassist. He was going to be on this show, Grammy Award winner, but he had to fly out to Atlanta last minute. He plays with Gregory Porter, best male jazz vocalist, Grammy Award winner. So
that's kind of who I was thinking when I was talking about that.
But there's so many of those players in town. And a lot of them will be on the stage Saturday night. Saturday night, June
Delmar
7th,
Hall.
Delmar Hall.
No, if you want to if you want to see like the best talent in St. Louis, be there on Saturday night, and you will see for yourself.
What are some of the because we saw you guys play it off Broadway, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of the place by Lemp Brewery.
Yeah.
What are some of the venues other than like Delmar Hall pageant? We know about all of those. If you really want to go see great live music that's local, is there a really good spot for that other than the places we mentioned?
I mean, Atomic is back, formerly Atomic Cowboy. What Drew Jameson has done over there is super cool and usually has a lot of great local talent. Broadway Oyster Bar, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I think of two places that are dives, but you can see some great music at Venice Cafe, long time place, but also Yaki's on Cherokee. That's one of my favorite. They have live music 7 nights a week. It's this very European inspired bar, and you hear like real sort of 1920s, 1930s jazz. They're unplugged, and like that was a moment where I never really got that music before, but I'd only ever listened to like these scratchy records. And when you see that 5-piece, hot jazz combo, but it's like when you see it in person, you kind of understand, whoa, that's why it was so friggin' hip back in the 20s, back when our grandparents were little tykes.
It's kind of like a bohemian vibe.
Yeah,
there.
it's so cool. So anyway, those are my favorites. Yaki's on Cherokee.
That's awesome. I want to give the details one more time if people are listening as we continue our conversation with Dave Grelly and Neil Salsic. The Playadores, June 7th. So just a few days, Delmar Hall, doors at 7, show at 8 p.m. And as Dave mentioned, all proceeds go to St. Louis tornado relief efforts, which is so cool. As you've said, all of these musicians are coming in. You're going to have a giant family affair. The concert was already planned, and you guys pivoted and said all of the proceeds are going to tornado relief. So very, very cool. So the pageant.com or playadors.com. Playadors.
Saturday
night, baby. Boom.
You guys want to hang out for a bit?
Yeah,
or do you have
let's
somewhere
do
to go? Yeah, we don't want to talk very much today, so I think we're going to keep you guys for another segment. How do you feel about that? Dave Grelly, Neil Salsic with us, great local musicians. We continue the segment next on KMOX.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley telling you about i3 Broadband. You've heard me talk about them. They provide the internet in my home. I love them so much. The reliability is great. Let's talk about price for a moment, though. They've got an introductory rate at $19.99 a month for one of their service options. No bundle ever required. You're going to save $10 a month over the cable company. They've got great pricing on all of their different packages, going up to 8 gigs upload and download speed, always mirrored. See if they're available in your neighborhood. Put your address in at i3broadband.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. Cordell.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
Dave Grelly and Neil Salsic in studio with us, the Playadors, playing this Saturday to benefit the tornado effort, the tornado relief effort. They'll be playing at Delmar Hall. It'll open at 7 o'clock. And also Neil with the Mighty Pines. You guys were just, you found out something during the break that you felt like you really wanted to talk about, that Amy has never had food delivered. And you're amazed by this. She's never one time even ordered a pizza.
Mm-mm.
It kind of annoys me.
It's so annoying.
But it's also endearing. It's also endearing.
So here's the thing. Like I said, first of all, Uber Eats or the other one, DoorDash, they're so expensive.
They're very expensive.
Food is expensive anyway.
But pizza, Amy.
But here's the thing. I think part of it is I never grew up with it because we grew up in the boonies. Like I always say it was Wildwood, but it was really before Wildwood was Wildwood. It was Glencoe. Nobody delivered out there. Our closest grocery store was 22 minutes away. So even if you wanted emos or something delivered, nobody delivered out there because it was the boonies. So I think I just never grew up with it. I've never ordered pizza and had it delivered.
Still wild, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Right?
Dave has to head home now.
But why would you get like a $7 meal?
My delivery. That's on the front porch.
A $7 meal and then $7 in delivery fees.
And that is understandable. Right. It is super expensive.
Because when you have lots of kids and you don't want to put them all in the car and go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
That does make sense. So you guys were talking about writing. You wanted to go to the woods and write. How often do you do?
Yes, that's exciting.
How often? The boonies. Yeah. You think there's someone who's like still in the boonies listening? Like, stop talking smack on the boonies.
We get pizza.
Boonies this, boonies that.
My parents are still in the boonies. You asked, like, do you have a country home? Yeah, I mean, yes, mom and dad's house.
How often do you write?
I try to write at least a couple times a week. Something, finish a song, start a song. So much going on in this brain up here.
You tell?
Gotta put it on paper.
Can you tell when you've written something? Like, let's say if you're writing that many songs, can you tell when you've written something that is, oh, this is really, really good. This is different.
I don't know. I'm always in my own head about everything. So yeah, there's stuff where I'm like, this is a banger.
Mm-hmm.
But 90% of the time it's like, this might be good. And then play it for the band. And, I think you
Yeah.
get immediate. I just watch their faces the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I mean,
I
you-
don't know.
yeah.
Neil-
No, you
Neil's
know,
a
but you know more
prolific
than
songwriter over here.
you know more that you know when it's like good. You know when you got the riff. Like if you're either excited about it, and you wouldn't even really keep writing it if you weren't. Right.
Yeah.
Like
Fair.
writing is kind of the hardest thing of all as a creative, I think. So like it's enough to just get my butt in the chair to do it. And if I don't like what I'm working on, there's no way I'm gonna keep. So what's the equivalent for you to? No, I'm actually curious. Is there something?
What?
Nothing we do.
Okay,
We don't
no,
do that.
in this job, like what's the thing that what's the sort of esoteric, like the essence of it all that you know is the hardest thing to do? I mean, is there any? I mean,
Well, you're making this sound way cooler than
We
it
are
is.
professional time killers.
I think you guys are
We
amazing.
kill time for a living.
All right, we have 12
poetry
minutes
to
to
me.
get through. How are we going to do this?
That's what I'm saying.
Amy,
It's
you
an
got
art
anything?
form.
No.
It's
Okay, no, we
Yeah,
can talk about anything, but
Yeah.
I want to know. I mean, I'm
know,
a fanboy.
we're getting by on personality alone, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's
Yeah.
and
Here it
intellect.
is.
I think
I
the
like
best
it.
is when you accidentally ask a question that turns into news. That's
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Sometimes that happens, but again, that's like a blind squirrel finding
What does
a
that
nut.
even mean? You
Yeah,
ask,
what- give me-
you
give
ask
an
a
So
example.
question
one
that
time we interviewed Joe Buck, and
Joe Buck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was during the pandemic. There were no sports to call, so people could send in videos of videos of them doing everyday things like vacuuming or whatever. And I said, well, Joe, do people ever send in videos that are rather scandalous, like sexy time, and ask you to do play-by-play? And he said, not only do they send in scandalous videos, but a lot of times they would put something scandalous in the background. And he said every video was like the Zapruder film where they're trying to figure it out. And then that made it to like TMZ. That made it like national, like because Joe Buck did that. But again, that was more of a Joe Buck thing, but that was kind of fun.
Creating news.
Well, I do what I can.
Yeah, we're
with
newsmakers
stupid
here.
questions.
Yeah, wow,
right.
Well, like this is when you said you break out a song to a band,
Yeah.
to your band. I always think of Steve Miller, like when guys I wrote a song is like some people call me the space cowboy, some people call me the gangster of love. Was his band like no one calls you those things, Steve? Some people call me Maurice. That's how I always think. Can you imagine breaking out those lyrics?
But they sound. I can't. No, I'm thinking about that right now. But
But with the riff, it was.
Yeah.
It doesn't even
They
matter.
didn't
if Dave
care.
played that for me
Dum,
and was like, "Here's the words," I would just be like, "Whoa, man!" I mean, I don't know. From a songwriting perspective,
you wouldn't even
that's
care.
Cool. Now, when I got to the Maurice part, I'd probably be like, "Okay, a little bit inside, a little bit of jam band thing there, like a joke."
Is
but-
it bad
Yeah.
that I hate that song?
What?
I hate the lyrics. I
it's a
hate
good
them.
song.
I've come
I
full
hate 'em.
circle with it.
You used to hate it?
Loved as a child.
Yeah.
Then like, wow, this song's really annoying. I don't
Yes,
like it.
thank you.
I don't get it. And now I'm back.
I love it. Like
I love Steve Miller, though.
Some
Oh,
people
me
call me
too.
Maurice. I love it.
Why?
It's just a great line. That's right.
Yeah. I want to know more. Why?
Why?
Why do they call
I
you
think it has
Maurice?
something to do with him being the gangster of love, honestly.
Yeah. I don't want to dive too deep into that.
Hey, you guys are so we've been talking about the thing Saturday at Delmar Hall in support of tornado victims, but you're also playing the Central West End cocktail party next weekend.
Yes.
Both of Mighty Pines
With the
and
Mighty
Playadors?
Pines. Yeah.
Or together you're playing together.
A bang bang. Double dipper.
If you like the Playadors and you like the Mighty Pines, but most of all, if you like Dave and myself, you can come see our bands because Dave is actually the keyboardist for the Mighty Pines too, and we're so proud to have him. We just did a big show in Benton Park to start
blast
in the past. We're going to get to the future in a second, but yes, we just played there. We do that every year. It was magical, and that was actually the weekend of the tornado, or well, that was this Sunday. I mean, it was
raised a
2
ton of
days.
money.
We did. We kind of like scrambled, and we were like, we kind of had the same thing as Dave was talking about earlier. You can't. It's just this feeling where you're like this. We still want to put on a concert. We still want to, and it was so good for people, actually, for the band, for the city. I could tell there was just this really special kind of moment where everyone could just give it all up for a second, because that was a tough weekend. But the point is, yeah, you can't throw a party right in those circumstances, and so it's good. It's really special that musicians have this. This is our way that we can do something, because sometimes I think everybody feels a little bit not helpless, but just sometimes people don't know how to give back or what's their style, what's their way. Some people are the volunteers. Some people can support financially. And for musicians, it's nice to have like, this is what we can do. We can put this out there. So that was a long-winded way to say that, yes, the Mighty Pines and the Plyadors are actually playing on June 14th in the Central West End for another amazing outdoor
It's the cocktail
concert.
party.
Yeah, this is the season of outdoor shows. That's what makes summer so great. There's so much great outdoor stuff going on in St. Louis, and June 14th in Chris's neighborhood.
Yeah, my
maybe
neighborhood.
we'll see him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Probably
cool?
not.
We
He's-
better.
Oh, that would be
Yeah,
cool.
I'll be there.
dodgy.
Come on out. No, I'm
He
not
is
dodgy.
kind of dodgy.
No,
but
I'm not.
I'd love
I'll
to
be
just
there.
hang out with him in
Oh,
person.
put your face away.
This guy.
Put your face
this
away.
guy cannot commit to anything.
Yes, I can. I'll see you.
No,
I'll see you June 14th.
I'm with you, Chris. Okay, you and I are cut from the same cloth. In that regard, so we're part of the tribe.
Delmar Hall. Can people just walk up, buy tickets there?
Yep, Saturday. You can get tickets at the door while they last. Again, all proceeds go towards tornado relief efforts. Plyadors, Saturday night,
June 7th.
Delmar Hall. And then the following week, the Plyadors
Don't
and
confuse
Mighty
people.
Pines
Yeah.
At the
Central West End cocktail party.
But the tornado one is
Yes,
June
this
7th.
this is very
Yeah.
important. So
Yes.
go this Saturday to Delmar Hall.
Yep.
Dave Grelly, Neil Salsick, good to see you both.
Great to see you guys. Thanks for having us.
We got to talk sports now. Matt Pauley will join us next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
Maureen talks about her experience using 3-day kitchen and bath.
I had for years been dreaming how I wanted my kitchen down to every detail. When 3-day kitchen and bath came, they were thrilled to death that I knew exactly what I wanted. They came back with a drawing and it was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted. They came in, they did their thing, and it turned out as perfect as I imagined it. The quality of it is beautiful. It's amazing. It is beautiful. They were efficient. They were trustworthy. The recommendations were unquestionable. And they were going to do exactly what I wanted. I had a lovely experience.
Start your remodel today by visiting 3daykitchen.com.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Now, 90 and 60. A look back at the latest St. Louis City SC match. Presented by Woods Basement Systems, Inc.
Plus, hits it, gets by his finger, now tucks it home! Oh, show out close! Wins it! Slides it! City lead! Right foot, we got it, baby! Edward Leuven! City lead! Goal kick. They'll stop it there. Your final. St. Louis City 2, San Jose 1. We're back, baby.
Up next, City SC faces the Portland Timbers Sunday. Kick at 6 p.m. on Y98.
Tripping over uneven concrete? Don't replace it, raise it with concrete leveling. Call the all things basement-y experts, Wood Basement Systems, for a free estimate at 618-249-5503 or learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella Window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. Now hiring qualified carpenters.
Currently, it is 74 degrees and sunny, a high of 90 degrees
Actually, it's 73.
today.
It's 73 degrees, Amy.
A high of 90 degrees today and mostly sunny tomorrow, partly cloudy, a high of 89. Weather sponsored by Saks Financial.
Hey, it's Jeff at Sachs Financial. Over the last 15 years, we've been able to help our clients focus on the fundamentals and tune out the daily grind by putting a great retirement plan in place. If you don't have one, find out how to get started at retiresafestl.com.
Is here to stay. After an undefeated home season and a second straight 10-win year, the Tigers are looking for more in 2025.
Eli and the boys have done it again.
With a top 10 transfer portal class and a strong home schedule highlighted by Kansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, you don't want to miss out. Get your spot in line by joining the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Go, Paulie!
Paulie's a great name.
Go, Paulie! What'd you do for Paulie? Anything? Me, Paulie! I was responsible!
Paulie, we're here because of you.
It didn't go great for the Cardinals over the weekend. They dropped 2 of 3 to the Texas Rangers. And now it is time to bring in our sports fella, Matt Pauley, who is the host of the Redbird Rush Hour at 5 o'clock whenever a Cardinals game does not interfere. So like tonight, there's going to be Redbird Rush Hour. And then host the Sports Open Line and the pre- and post-game shows for the St. Louis Cardinals, who will be back at it on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. Matt Pauley, how you doing?
I'm good, but just so you know, here at Casa de Pauley in Chesterfield, it's 76 degrees.
Oh,
well,
that's interesting.
Actually, that is true.
Sometimes the city's hotter in Chesterfield.
I mean, you guys were kind of bickering there about the current temperature, so I just wanted to add.
I don't think I was bickering. I think I was interrupted.
She was interrupted.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I didn't want to give out, inaccurate information.
That's true. I'm
So-
glad that you got that correct information out there.
Well, assuming it's correct. At any rate.
What the hell happened this weekend?
Thank you for the update. Oh, yeah.
They gave up a lot of runs in 2 of the 3 games. That's the bottom line. It kind of got away from a couple guys who have been really good out of the bullpen yesterday. Matthew Liberatore was not as sharp as he normally is on Friday, and he ended up losing a couple games. But I'm not trying to make excuses or anything like that, but they went 500 on the road trip. What the old saying is, go 500 on the road, win your series at home, you're fine. So would have you liked to take 2 of 3 against the Rangers team that's not especially good? Yeah, sure. But they come back after a 500 road trip. I'm not going to get upset about that.
Yeah, someone's making excuses. Is that what, if you said that on the post-game show, is that the reaction you would get from listeners and texters?
Yeah, carrying water, being a homer.
Yeah, water boy.
Getting accused of, I get accused of working for the team.
Company man.
Okay. Even though I'm not an employee of the team, I get all that stuff.
But
That's
is
fine,
it,
that's okay.
Is it darned if you do, darned if you don't? Like if you're negative, do people say that you're a hater or not as much as people say you're a homer?
I bet that happens a lot less.
A lot less. It doesn't not happen. I got it. One of the weirdest experiences I ever get is like, I'll be in this period of just being hammered by people telling me how I'm a homer and all this sort of stuff. And then I'll say something like totally benign, like, oh, you know what? I would have considered taking this pitcher out after, like, just something so dumb and not consequential. And all of a sudden I'll get like a text message or something from somebody like telling me how bad it is that I talk so poorly about I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? So yeah, when those things happen, all I can do is laugh.
I think that is the best. Because that's when you know you're probably doing it right. If you get criticisms on both ends, like, hey, you're a homer or you're too critical. If you're getting both of those, you're probably in the right in the sweet spot.
Yeah, I would agree. And look, I tend to be a positive person. I look at things from a positive outlook, and that's part of. So
you're no Ackerman though. Tom is Mr. Positivity.
He is Mr. Positivity.
Yeah.
I do try to find the positives when there are positives to be there. There's not always positives to be there. So, like, going back to what we're just talking about right now, the positive of what just happened over the weekend was they at least won one so they could go 500 on the road trip, which in the big picture is perfectly fine.
Hey, Matt, I heard this on Sports on a Sunday Morning with Bernie Miklasz and Tom Ackerman. Tell me if I heard it correctly, that people are critical of Oli Marmol, obviously, but he's got a better record over the first 4 seasons with the team than Tony La Russa did in his first 4 seasons.
Yeah, Bernie did that research the other day. He had texted that to Kevin and me. I saw that on Friday after the Redbird Rush Hour, which is fun. Now, to be fair, Tony did not have a 72 win season under his belt the way Oli has. But from a big picture perspective, yes, it is true. Because I mean, people forget Tony came in '96, and they had that fantastic '96 season. That's probably my favorite Cardinals team of all time. That's that's the year where I sort of fell in love with baseball. But then they took a step back for a couple years before they really started rolling again. So I think sometimes people forget that when they think about the kind of the legend of Tony La Russa. And I mean, the amazing thing is I was listening to sports radio in those years. There was constant chatter for the Cardinals to fire La Russa.
Oh, yeah.
Especially before he won a World Series. He was go back to California. You don't fit here.
Yep.
What is that? Like, people hated Tony La Russa until he finally won a World Series.
They were Cardinals fans, not all of them, but there were a lot of them who were all over him. And I knew it was because he wasn't Whitey. They were just upset that Whitey Herzog wasn't the manager, and they still, longed for those days of the 80s. And it used to really irritate me because, like, the dude had been really good, and he had just, he had success in Oakland, and it was like, give him time, man. Give this some time. But the teams that he had, the rosters at first just weren't very good, and then they got better.
No, they got better. Jocketty did a fantastic job.
How did the rosters or the relative payroll compare to what Ollie's dealing with right now, which was, openly kind of a transition season, right? Maybe they could trade Nolan Arenado if they could. They didn't. But how does this roster compare relatively to the teams that La Russa had?
Yeah, I think it's actually something Kevin Wheeler and I were talking about recently. We're talking more about like when they came in, and I don't think it's quite apples to apples, because when Oli came in, you still had Yachty around, you still had Wainwright. Obviously, Pujols would come back. Where you had Ozzie Smith, but Ozzie and Tony did not exactly see eye to eye on a whole lot of things. And there were some other like good players. I'm not trying to be dismissive of any of the really solid players on the 96 team, but from like a Hall of Fame superstar caliber standpoint, it was Ozzie. So where they're at, that was their beginning point. So I think Oli had an advantage that Tony did not have from a beginning point positioning. It's really hard to compare. Baseball is just so different now, and the way you build rosters and the way, the trades that Walt Jocketty was able to pull off, that's not happening today. Like, baseball's just different. The money is different. There's so many things that are different. It's really hard to, compare the two. But I do, at the same time, I appreciate the question, Amy, because I think you can get, no matter how you answer it, I think it's an interesting thing to do, the comparing of the situations that Tony and Oli have been put in and compare the two.
And you're talking about a lot, as you mentioned, money was completely different. Just from a historical perspective, 1993, their payroll was bottom 5. By 1996, it was top 10. So they did start to commit more money. But again, at that time, like, the top payroll was mid 40s. Like the best team, I think, was spending like $45 million total. Now the best payroll is over 300. So the landscape of the sport is very different. But in terms of what the Cardinals spent, early 90s, not a whole lot. By the mid 90s, they were spending a lot more.
Yeah, and that's connected to when the DeWitts came in. They came in and they started spending, and they, for the most part, they have spent at a very respectable level. Obviously, the spending went back this year. I think it's going to move forward again. This team doesn't have to have a top 5 payroll. It's not going to have a top 5 payroll, but you can win a lot of games if you do things well. I mean, there's a lot of teams that have a lot of success. See Milwaukee, see Tampa. There's other teams as well, teams that are just really smart. So the Cardinals can, if they can spend a respectable amount of money while also finding a way to be one of the smarter organizations out there, which is the goal of Heim Bloom, they're going to be in a really, really good spot.
So let me ask you about payroll. We're way ahead of ourselves. There's still 4 months left to go in the season. But do you think they start to inch payroll back up next off season, or do you think we're going to be around where they are now?
Yeah, I think a lot of that is dependent upon how this season ends up playing out, because if they keep playing baseball like they're playing right now, and if this team ends up in the postseason, then you can go into next year and say, okay, this can be a legit good team. We've got a bunch of core players. Now, where can we look to really upgrade? Not just incremental upgrades, but where can you find like legitimate upgrades for the roster to make them that much more? Now, if this team peters out and if this team ends up below 500 and doesn't make the postseason, then I think you come out of it and you say, well, you're still kind of going through this reset, this transition, whatever you want to call it. Heim Bloom's going to come in. The focus has got to be on drafting and developing and player development and that sort of thing. And maybe the payroll does not quite, maybe they're not quite ready to do that again. So I don't know what the timeline is on when they're going to start to push again. I do know for me, it's really important that when they do start to push payroll again, they push payroll by going and finding impact players. I always mention Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn, and it's not that I'm trying to beat up on those two guys because they had nice seasons and were good Cardinals. Lance Lynn, obviously a lot of history with the organization, but they went and spent $20 some odd million on a third and fourth starter. Go spend $20 million on a single guy because your third and fourth starters are being handled by players that you've developed and therefore are cost controlled. So that's what I think they need to be done with the days of signing kind of the mid-level free agents.
So the Cardinals come back home off day today, but tomorrow they will play against Kansas City. It is the first of a 9-game homestand, and this will be a tough homestand for them. 3 good teams are coming in. Kansas City, the Dodgers will be here over the weekend, and then the Blue Jays starting on Monday. So this is thankfully they're at home for these, but this is a tough stretch here.
And we cool not to focus too much on Kansas City here, but they are calling up Jack Caglione, who is the number 10 prospect in all of baseball. He's their top prospect, so he's going to be making his major league debut in St. Louis. So that's going to be fun to see. So hopefully fans can, in addition to going out and seeing the Cardinals, go out and see a guy who's probably going to be a pretty good player here moving forward. But yeah, I think you look forward. This is a Kansas City team that the Cardinals are better than. That obviously doesn't mean that they're for sure going to beat them, but I think you go into that series with the feeling that you should be able to take 2 of 3 from them. The pitching matchups, I think, in many ways are advantageous to the Cardinals, especially the first 2 of the series. But then you mentioned the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are really, really, really good, and but the Cardinals have been good against good teams this year. So, yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see. I think you kind of have all the pomp and circumstance that goes along with the I-70 series for a few days, and then you have a legit World Series contender coming in with the Dodgers.
All right, Redbird Rush Hour at 5 o'clock, Matt, and then Sports Open Line at 6.
Yep, so I'll be with folks tonight, 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock.
Anything in particular you want to tell everybody?
We're working on a couple things.
Okay.
I don't want to quite give it away yet. Just be tuned in.
All right.
Be surprised.
5 o'clock.
Surprised.
Oh, I love surprises.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I can't wait. So do I have to listen to get the surprise, or are you going to tell me about it first?
I'll probably say at some point. I got to promote it. But,
All right. All right.
We're still putting things together.
5 o'clock, Redbird Rush Hour. 6 o'clock, Sports Open Line until 8. Live baseball / sports coverage here on KMOX with Matt Pauley. Thanks, dude.
You bet.
Yo, Paulie, your sister's with me. I'll call you back later. See ya.
So the Cardinals right now, Amy. I'm watching the standings because it's June 2nd. I like to know what the standings are.
They were hot until this weekend.
They were. They're 4 games back now because the Cubs won't lose. So
here's what's going to happen: the Cardinals are going to bounce back, and the Cubs are going to fall. They're going to stumble.
You think so?
I feel it.
Yeah, maybe. That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. This is 104.1 FM KMOX.
So, as you all know, I was hiking all week. And I was also, before that, I was running, getting back into running after my injury. And you better believe I had Superfeet insoles in all of my shoes. My trail runners, my hiking boots, my running shoes. I had the green Superfeet in each and every one of those pairs of shoes. Now, the green Superfeet are for the higher arches. It's a firmer arch. That's what I need. I love it. But there are a bunch of different types of arches, arch heights, cushion levels. You can even get a more customized Superfeet insole. Here's what you need to know. Go to any one of the Fleet Feet locations, Fleet Feet Sports, St. Charles, Chesterfield, De Pere, South County, and O'Fallon, Missouri. Fleet Feet Sports. The people who work there will fit you up for the right Superfeet. I know this because I used to work at Fleet Feet and I used to fit people for Superfeet. They'll find the right ones for you. Another thing that's important to note, you do not have to spend hundreds of dollars on the Superfeet insoles. My green ones cost $60. That's right. They're so affordable. They do the trick, whether you have knee pain, back pain, or plantar fasciitis. That's what I had. So get Superfeet insoles at Fleet Feet Sports.
The Dave Glover Show.
If you sit down with me and we talk about who I am, what I am, my values, political, voting record, you're never going to walk away and go, that guy's a bleeding heart progressive. I'm just not stupid. And I just don't take bait. And I just don't do things because you tell me to, or that I'm afraid that if I don't, fall in line or get on the bandwagon, people aren't going to like me. Been there, done that for years.
The Dave Glover Show, now on FM 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan, along with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Doctor, when should somebody typically get a hearing evaluation?
Charlie, the simple answer to that would be at age 65. However, there are some contributing factors that might make people more at risk for hearing loss. Some people with a history of noise exposure or a family history of hearing loss, or those suffering from tinnitus, those people should come in to have their hearing evaluated at age 60. And of course, anyone noticing difficulty hearing or ringing in the ears should come in as soon as they notice these changes.
That's the word from Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center with 3 convenient locations, Florissant, St. Peter's, and Creve Coeur. Schedule an appointment today by calling 636-441-7470 or the Audiology Center STL.com.
Is thinning hair or receding hairline making you self-conscious? Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at Hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. That's Hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
You can tell your old man you'll do some long.
You know who this is?
Cody Johnson.
That's right. You nailed it.
Do you know how I know? It's written down right in front of me.
Well, guess what? If you like Cody Johnson,
Do I?
Yeah. We're
I don't know,
giving
do
away. We are giving away tickets. Do I? Question mark. That's a real question. Do I? Yes. We are giving away Cody Johnson tickets. Not right now. Got to keep listening.
Yeah.
You got to keep listening. We will be giving away a pair of tickets to see Cody Johnson at Thunder Ridge Nature Arena in Ridgedale, Missouri on August 23rd. So keep listening for your chance to win.
That'll be cool. Also,
I've not been. Speaking of, we were talking about music venues with Dave Grelly and Neil Salsick. I've not been to Thunder Ridge.
I have not either. What wasn't it Alabama who just played there?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I like Alabama.
Because we gave away Alabama tickets.
I like Kansas. As far as like state bands go, state name bands, I like Kansas better than Alabama.
So like regional bands like Kansas, Alabama, Chicago, Boston.
Oh yeah, I like Boston a lot too.
Mhm.
I also like Chicago.
Yeah.
Although
Is that all of them?
I don't think that's all of them. I'm sure there are others. Peter.
Florida Georgia line?
Ugh, no.
Well, you don't like Florida Georgia line?
No, not.
Is that the chilling on the dirt road, that one? I think it is.
Sounds
chilling on
right.
a dirt road.
Chilling on a dirt road.
Yeah, because Nelly, they did a collaboration with Nelly.
Yeah.
So I like Chicago. Here's the thing, though. I don't know if I like Chicago or if I just like Peter Cetera because he's
You
not with
probably just like-
Chicago anymore.
You probably just like him.
I really like Peter Cetera.
Amy, did you know we're nominated for a major award?
I did. The A-list.
Yeah, dude. If people don't vote for us, I'm gonna be so mad.
He's gonna lose it. Here's the thing.
I will come to your house and I will start a kitchen fire if you
no,
don't vote for us.
say that. Oh my
If you-
gosh. Oh my
so
gosh.
if you go to stlmag.com, actually go to our Twitter account too, at Chris Amy KMOX. It's pinned at the top. Go vote for us for what is it, Talk News Show, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, go vote for us, or I will come to your house and
Okay.
start a kitchen fire
Okay, don't,
and not put it out. I will start the fire and I will walk out the back door.
Matt. What,
So you don't want a kitchen
take
fire?
Control of this show.
You don't want a kitchen fire?
He's on a roll. I can't stop him.
I'm not joking. This is a threat.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a threat
You
and
can,
a promise.
You can vote every day. You
Every day.
can. And here's how I know we're worthy of winning because we just won an award.
Oh crap! That's right. We did. It's right behind you.
We won the best opinion. I don't know which
So
one
the Missouri
put us over the edge.
Broadcasters Association.
I'm gonna grab it and hold it up for the YouTube viewers.
Yeah, it says best opinion on it. It doesn't say what the opinion was.
All I know is at one point someone was listening to us and I said, "Well, here's what I think," and they thought,
Well,
It was
"Hot darn, that's a great opinion."
it was the conversation you guys had about local law enforcement checking immigration papers.
So did I have the best opinion, or
which
did
person-
Amy have the
because we
best
disagreed,
opinion?
I think.
I think it was the best showcase of opinions. It was like you guys
Oh.
had different opinions.
Okay,
so
But
the
they
best-
don't judge like which of our opinions was better.
Matt says it's the best showcase. It doesn't say that. It says best opinion.
It says
One
I would
of
like
us
to
had
walk
the best
around.
opinion.
I'm going to take that around, and when somebody says what you're talking about is stupid, I will hold that up and say, "Nope."
No, it's not.
It says I have the best opinion.
Yeah, we just don't know which one of us had the best opinion.
Why don't they? They should like They should distinguish which one of us had the better opinion with that award.
I think it'd be funny if it had first and second place because there were only two of us with opinions.
What if we were the only entry? You think that's how we won?
I don't know. All I know is
No.
that that's when
The
Mason.
newsroom won a bunch of these.
Oh, they do win a lot. That was
The
like
newsroom
when,
is so good
when
here.
Mason Jar and they did a marathon relay with his friends and they won 10th place.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, out of 10.
Hey, I give you guys a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, does that mean we're perfect? No, it
No.
means you're the 10th of
Yeah.
10 entries.
But anyway, the A-list, it's on our Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX. It's super easy. You can vote every day because basically we have to beat the Glover show.
Yeah, man.
What did you guys say about them anyway? I know we got a break. 'cause
We didn't say anything.
All I heard is somehow that there's a beef.
They accused Matt of leaving boogers on the
which
chair.
is wildly inaccurate.
What?
And was debunked after we found out it was a grape that I had eaten. And yet the rumors persist.
You missed it. You missed the whole thing.
I missed everything.
Rachel accused Matt.
No, she didn't mention my name.
Andrew accused Matt of leaving boogers on the chair. Not kidding.
Anyway.
Like, what is this, a booger? And then Andrew said, yeah, it was Matt Pajeski who did it.
Okay, so vote for us. I'm sure you're motivated now.
Yeah, in the A-list.
In the
STLmag.com A-list. Go vote for like Talk News Show or something.
Mhm. Vote for Chris and Amy.
Yeah. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji of the Chris and Amy Show. Chris Saliza political commentator, our guy with us every Monday, joins us next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
The success you've had in life matters. The late nights, the extra shifts, the moments you've stood up and said, I've got this. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we value your achievements because we're a school for real life. With UMGC, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer scholarships, affordable tuition, and online and hybrid classes, all with the support you need from your first day to graduation day and beyond. As an accredited state university, we've been transforming lives for over 75 years. Choose from more than 135 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, and get ready to succeed again. Get an affordable online skills-based education to move your career forward. UMGC offers no-cost digital materials in place of textbooks in most courses, low-cost tuition, and over $21 million in scholarship opportunities each aid year. Find out if you qualify at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Winner of 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Are you struggling to cope with natural disasters, mass violence, COVID, or other emergencies? You are not alone. Call or text the Disaster Distress Helpline at 1-800-985-5990 to connect with a trained counselor 24/7 across the United States. The Disaster Distress Helpline at 1-800-985-5990. Visit samhsa.gov/DDH for more resources. That's samhsa.gov/DDH.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're your neighbors, your friends, your support system. From your first visit, you'll experience expert care backed by the strength of our entire health network. At HSHS, we put your health first, with medical expertise and kindness that makes you feel valued at every step. HSHS, connected to our community, committed to your health. Visit hshs.org/caring to learn more.
I like to hear what I call the pulse of the city.
Your news, your city.
Local news coverage, local traffic, culture, sports. Local radio that's important to me.
News, weather, cards, games.
Relevant local talk, local content.
Locally oriented, which I like.
KMOX is part of the neighborhood.
Commentary about things that's important to me.
104.1 FM KMOX.
Just kind of my hometown radio station.
The voice of St. Louis.
That's what captivates me. That's why I turn it on.
It is 11 o'clock and we've got sunshine, 78 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. The Senate returns from recess this afternoon, and a big item on the agenda is that budget bill that would enact several of President Trump's legislative priorities, but there are a handful of Senate Republicans expressing opposition.
What's notable about the bill, as we're talking about all of this, Republicans have been saying that there are no cuts to the program, but they did institute federal work requirements, and they have changed the cost sharing. So states may have to fill a gap in terms of the cost that they may not be able to fill.
That would be the cost of Medicaid. CBS News congressional correspondent Caitlin Huey Burns. The Supreme Court will not hear a challenge to Maryland's assault weapons ban.
The justices turned down a case against a Maryland law that was passed after the Sandy Hook Elementary School mass shooting in 2012. The decision comes 3 years after the High Court handed down a landmark ruling that expanded Second Amendment rights. Gun advocates and attorneys for Maryland disagree over whether the AR-15 and similar weapons are protected by it. Several states have similar measures, and congressional Democrats have also supported the ban on so-called assault weapons. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
The Paul Brown Lofts on 9th Street in downtown St. Louis will be sold off in a July 14th foreclosure sale by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The federal agency wanted to sell it off last year, but postponed it when the city expressed interest in redevelopment at the site. The building, with 222 apartments and ground floor retail, was first redeveloped in 2005 with an almost $29 million HUD-backed loan, according to the Business Journal. America's first soccer city welcomes the U.S. women's national team to Energizer Park tomorrow night. Recently retired St. Louis soccer legend Becky Sauerbrunn will be honored before the game. Tickets still remain. The U.S. women will play China. A new brew will be officially unveiled tonight. Four Hands Brewing Company launching Pride 45, a new label for citywide light in collaboration with Pride St. Louis. Pride Fest celebrating its 45th anniversary this month. The unveiling tonight will be part of a community celebration at Four Hands with live performances from the Pride Royalty Court, a silent auction, and the official announcement of the 2025 Pride Award winners. Four Hands, located in the city's LaSalle Park neighborhood, was founded in 2011 and is now the largest craft brewery in the St. Louis area.
Hot this afternoon under hazy sunshine, high 92. Patchy clouds tonight, low 71. Clouds and some sun tomorrow with an afternoon thunderstorm around, high 91. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Carl Erickson, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Doesn't seem as hazy right now as it has seemed earlier in the day. In any case, we do have plenty of sunshine and 78 degrees. At 10:03, I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. For over 65 years, Renner Garage Door has delivered top-notch service, sales, and installation. Get your free estimate today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back.
RENNER. RENNER. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is hour 3. We've been doing this for 2 hours already today.
Time flies when you are having fun. Or not. Time flies either way, really.
No, sometimes it drags. I bet
Speaking
if you cover...
of drags.
whoa. Our next guest is not a drag. He's a great, fun guy. We are joined now by the author of the... Now I can't even bring him in because you said that. Author of the daily newsletter called So What? He's an independent news creator, and you can see him on Substack. Read him on Substack. See him on YouTube, Newsphere. And he is a contributor to News Nation. Chris Cillizza is with us on 104.1 FM KMOX. Good morning, Chris.
Well, I guess good morning.
Hey, only because you're not a drag can I say that.
Man, Amy, I really missed you on vacation.
Wasn't it a nice break?
I'll assume you were
Chris.
talking about the nature of our politics.
That's
and
what
not
I was
me in
talking about.
particular.
I did say, actually, Chris, well, no, of course, not you in particular, but I did say as we were coming into the segment, I go, it was kind of nice not talking about politics for a week.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of feel like a...
Welcome to my life.
Yeah. I felt like a real human.
So, okay, because politics is so stupid now, stupider than it's ever been.
Yes, that is a good word.
Well, in my lifetime, I think it's stupider. Maybe it's because I'm paying closer attention now than I used to.
That's what Jonah Goldberg, I love Jonah Goldberg, and he always says, it's not the worst time to be alive. It's just the stupidest. It's just a stupid time to be alive.
But do you...
Yeah, we are in a uniquely stupid moment. Yes.
Chris, do you feel like that there's ever a way to come out of this stupidness?
Yeah, I mean, look, I always say to people, the pendulum of politics swings back and forth, and it will swing back to a better place. And I don't mean this Republican Democrat. I just mean a place where we can have a little bit more recognition of our common humanity, that there are things we actually could work on together. We could try to solve, we could use the government to solve big problems in this country. It will swing back to, I don't know if we're ever going to solve every big problem, but it will swing back to a point where that is more incentivized. The problem is, I don't know the timeline that it's going to swing back to that on, right? I mean, I always say to people, it'll swing back. It just might not swing back in our lifetimes. I was thinking of that this weekend because, Joni Ernst, the senator from Iowa, on Friday was at a town hall, and somebody asked about Medicaid cuts and this Trump one big beautiful bill, and she started answering it, and someone interrupted her and yelled, "People are going to die." And Ernst responded, "Well, we're all going to die," which, true. But not politically smart. And in the way back times, and by that I mean like 15 years ago, a politician who said something like that would probably apologize at some level, right? She was on the front page of the Des Moines Register. She's up in 2026. It's not the headline you want. So on Saturday, I saw Ernst made a video where she starts out saying, "My sincerest apologies," but then you quickly realize she's not apologizing at all. She is trolling people who were annoyed about her response and saying, I guess I should have said the tooth fairy isn't real either. That's when I think of our stupid politics, I think of that. Like, this is just, she said something dumb. We all, if you talk enough in public life, you're going to say dumb stuff. You say, you know what, I shouldn't have said that. I didn't mean it that way. I got frustrated. It's obviously a really, really emotional issue for me and other people. And here's what I meant. But no, she doubles down on it and says, yeah, no, that's exactly. It's you who were wrong for getting upset with me, not me who was wrong for losing my cool. And that just typifies everything that I dislike about our current moment in politics.
So I know that we don't really know when this will happen, if there's going to be a correction here at some point. But do you sort of miss, because you're a political junkie, do you miss when stuff was normal, or because this is less boring?
I don't know if normal is the right word. But what I would say is there was a time when I was in this business, and I'm 49 years old, and I've been in it basically since I was 22, so 2.5 decades. There was a time when not everyone operated on bad faith, right? Like, there was an attempt from reporters, from the politicians who they covered, from the staff, from from activists who followed this stuff closely, that there wasn't an assumption that everyone was acting in bad faith, and that was a better time. It really was, because I just think now we just see the worst in each other always. And we assume the worst in the people with whom we disagree. So it's not, I just want to get back to a place where we can, if we screw up, we can say, I screwed up. I'm human. It's going to happen. And I'm going to work to do better, as opposed to, I have never made a mistake in my entire life. The problem isn't me, it's you. Like, that stuff does get tiresome. And I think, by the way, it's why there are so many people who are, pretty fed up with both political parties, and I would note with political media.
Well, Chris, I wonder if you know the status of the confusing messages sent to federal employees. My question specifically relates to the national parks and the forestry division, because of course we all want to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse, but the national parks and the forestry are perhaps the most public facing aspect of our government. It's something that government does really, really well. And as you know, noted, I was gone, I was hiking, and there were a couple of visitor centers that were closed. We had some people say, well, I would go here for information about this hike in the town we were in. They have a great visitor center about not just the hikes, but the flora, the fauna, the condition of the trails. And they said, but honestly, with all the cuts to the forestry division, it hit us really hard. I don't know if we'll open it all this year. And to me, I felt frustrated.
Yeah, Amy, I think, the one that I always, it's so funny. I've seen polling and sat in focus groups. It's the same kind of thing. So if you ask Republican, Democrat, or whatever, do you think everyone in America should have access to health care? The answer to that question overwhelmingly for people is yes. Now, the problem becomes if you follow up with, are you okay with your taxes being raised to fund everyone having health care? People are like, whoa. And I think there's a disconnect. The parks thing is another good example. It's like, yes, I think that I'm in favor of getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse in the government. Look, I live in D.C. It's a big bureaucracy. Yeah. Of course, there's parts of it that could run more efficiently. I'm not sure I would just do what Elon Musk did and just kind of like take a machete to it. But yes, of course I'm in favor of that. But I think a lot of people who are in favor of it like a lot of the things the government does, including maintaining our trails, including, I always say it's like people hate FEMA, the Emergency Management Association, because it's like, well, why do we need this? We spend so much money on it, until you were in the path of a hurricane, or you were in the path of a tornado, or, there's a natural disaster and you need what FEMA can provide. It's very kind of cutting off your nose to spite your face thinking, and a lot of short-term thinking, like, well, today I don't need FEMA, so therefore we should cut it. It's like, well, you are in the hurricane zone, or, I was thinking that because it's hurricane season is starting. But it's just, I think it is very hard to get people to understand that in this moment, because our politics is so built around short-term incentives and short-term villainy. We're spending X on Y. I can't believe we're doing this. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying we should spend that amount, but I also think we have to be really careful to just start drastically cutting things because there are, of course, medium and long-term impacts that I would say Republicans, Democrats, Libertarian people who are not interested in politics would not like.
Chris, what's the status of the big, beautiful bill and cuts to Medicaid? Because we've heard people from the Republican side say nobody's going to lose coverage as a result of this. But the numbers that we've seen from outside analysts say people will lose coverage if this thing gets passed. So what's the status?
Yeah, so it's in the Senate, Chris. The Senate is back this week. They were off for Memorial Day week. They are back this week. I think the bill will be changed from the version that passed the House. Now, how drastically, I don't know. Most of the focus right now from conservative Republicans is on the spending, which is, this bill, according to the Congressional Budget Office, which is a nonpartisan group that analyzes this sort of stuff. This bill would add $3.8 trillion, that's trillion with a T, dollars to our national deficit over the next 10 years. If you're a fiscal conservative who thinks we have debt deficit problems already, this is a hard pill to swallow. So that's where the focus has been mainly. The problem with all of this stuff is when you wall off largely, not entirely, but when you wall off entitlements, which is Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, and there are some Medicaid cuts in there, as you rightly know, but when you wall most of that off and you wall the defense budget off, which is what Donald Trump said, we're not going to, it's $1 trillion, we're not going to touch it. There's only so many places you can cut from to make it all add up. I mean, the entitlement programs I just mentioned and the defense budget are a ginormous, that's a technical term, ginormous part of the federal budget. And so if you say, well, we can't touch this 85% of the federal budget, it's hard to find cuts. And I think that's what Republicans are running into. I think, candidly, that's why they are into Medicaid at some level. They're trying to peddle this as it won't really impact many people. But, of course, it will impact some people. But they just can't make the numbers come. I mean, the numbers don't add up, but they can't even make the numbers come close to adding up if they don't do that.
Yeah, they're not. They're just not going to add up, and that's why so many of the DOGE cuts were performative. Like, you could fire every single person who works for the federal government, every single person, just eliminate it completely, and you'd barely put a dent in the $2 trillion debt. You'd still have $1.5 trillion of debt. So by saying that this visitor center at the Forestry Division that actually works well, that actually does its job and serves the people well, it's like a water pistol taking on the fires of hell. It's not going to do anything.
That's exactly right. And Amy, until you touch some of those bigger entitlement programs and the defense budget, you really are sort of cutting at the fringes. You just are.
Yeah. I will say my phone was kind of blowing up over the weekend with Wall Street Journal breaking news updates about the tariffs with China and Trump's conversation or call with Xi Jinping. Where do we stand right now?
It's so hard to get a read because I think that both sides are very interested in looking like they don't need it as much as the other guy needs it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're fine. I mean, my belief is that there is going to be I do not think we're going to see 143% tariffs put back in place. I think we will see some tariffs put back in place from China and from the United States. I think a deal sort of has to happen for the world economy and for the politics of both Donald Trump and Xi Jinping. Chinese economy is in worse shape than our economy, but if we are not able to import things from China without massively prohibitive costs, the average person will feel that more than they are today. And I think Donald Trump is mindful of that. So I tend to believe without the details are very hard to figure out at this point. But without knowing those details, I kind of think they probably are going to get a deal because political necessity makes it likely they need one. It's just, I think, honestly, a lot of this is posturing. Who is going to be able to say they'll both declare victory no matter what happens, but who is going to more credibly be able to say they won a victory? I'm continually baffled by Donald Trump's, we're going to over on Friday, he said we're going to put 50% more tariffs on steel. I just think tariffs, we've talked about this, the three of us, but I just think tariffs are, politically speaking, just absolutely a disaster for the Republican Party. Causes uncertainty in the stock market, the bond market, the dollar. People who trusted Donald Trump on the economy and elected him because of that are less trustful of him now. So every time he mentions it, I think Republicans grimace. I don't know if he's going to stop, but I'm skeptical that we're going to see sort of any long-standing tariffs put in place against our major trading partners going forward, because I think we've seen, and Donald Trump has seen, what that means politically in the near term.
Chris, what are you working on for today?
So I just got off with my friend Chuck Todd. We do, former NBC Meet the Press host. We do a podcast every Monday. You can check it out. And Chuck has a very interesting theory. People probably aren't paying attention to this, but basically, like, over this past weekend, 5 or 6 Democrats who want to run for president took very aggressive actions in that regard. I looked this up. We are 1,254 days from the general election in 2028, but it is happening right now. And Chuck has an interesting theory about why it's so active right now. So that's about to go up on my Substack if people want to check it out.
Chris Cillizza, you are the best.
You're the
Thank
best.
you.
Thanks, guys. Not a drag.
Not a drag.
at all.
I cannot believe Amy even suggested
That
it.
was terrible.
I just, Amy, you were my favorite right up until that comment. And now my fellow namesake, Chris, is my favorite.
How the hell was she in front of
But
me?
don't worry, it changes a lot.
Okay.
All right. That's fine. I'll
It's like
take it.
the tariffs.
That's fine.
Is there a tariff? There's not a
Yeah.
tariff. Yeah.
My rankings are very changeable.
Thank you.
Perfect. You're
Good.
the best, Chris.
At least
All
I'm
right,
on
y'all.
top
Have a good
now.
week. All right.
Chris Cillizza, independent news creator. See him on YouTube, Newsphere, News Nation, and also Substack. He is the author of the daily newsletter, So What? You should sign up for that. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. We have no more guests to insult today. So
That's
good news for you.
But we do have Monday regrets.
Yes. What are your regrets? Tell us about those. Something happened over the weekend, last week, your life, something that you need to get off your chest. Tell us what your Monday regrets are. We'll do that at 11:30 on KMOX.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough, but with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across our multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
Yeah, I don't care for that promo because it's outdated. It's outdated. It should be the award-winning Chris and Amy Show.
Oh my gosh, because we had the best opinion.
We have the best opinion.
I don't know. Like, that's the thing. I wish I knew, Was it my opinion or your opinion?
I don't know. I'm not trying to say we're better than everybody else,
But
our opinions are.
well, they're the best. Raj,
There's a plaque right behind you
There's
that
a
says
plaque.
best opinion.
It's objective.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't toot your own
It is
horn.
objective.
Yeah.
There's a whole committee that got together.
Mm-hmm.
It's in your hands committee. Yeah, they got together and they decided
Of all the opinions that they heard,
two good opinions right
one
here.
of ours was the best.
Congratulations to us.
Well, no, one of us.
Winners of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Best Opinion.
We just don't know which one. Because if
Still don't know.
it were both of us, they would have said best opinions.
Hey, do you think people voted for us yet in the A list?
Listen, here's what you need to do. Chris Amy KMOX on Twitter. It's pinned. We make it so easy because we really, really need to vote you to vote for us. We need you to vote for us
We do.
in the A list.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what happens if we win. Honestly, we just need to beat the Glover show.
I told you what happens when we win.
What?
We take it down to Steve's office. We go, look at this. So the next time you yell at us, you know how he likes to berate us in front of other people?
Yeah.
We show him that.
And the best opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, if
And
you
best
have,
opinion
if you have
and
two plaques.
A list? Dude, this texter here says that he is, it's Harambe. It's our guy Harambe. He says that he will vote for us, even though Ranji, me, is a damn Democrat.
Well, thank you, Harambe.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't even know Harambe was a Republican.
Actually, no, that isn't Harambe. Harambe
Oh.
said he's not mad, but he's disappointed. I don't know what he's disappointed about.
Hey, Harambe, what are you about? What though?
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. Hey, Monday regrets, as Ranj mentioned at 11:30, 314-436-7900. Call or text or leave a voice message on the Odyssey app.
And by the way, this is your regret. This is not you regret something that somebody else did. Because we get a lot of people who are like, I regret that this guy won an election. Like, that's not a regret. It's
That
something
was-
that you've done wrong.
That was like when we were little, we would do prayers at dinner and you'd go, and dear Lord, please forgive my sister for hitting me and being mean and taking my toy when I told her not to. My parents would be like, okay, don't rat each other out during the dinner prayer. That's what
that is what a brilliant way to tattle.
Oh, it's a classic. Remember? Okay. Nate Bargatze does a great skit on how no one was as Christian as the Christians in the 80s and 90s. And I laugh because we were the Amy Grant, Michael W. Smith home, but 100% you would say a prayer and you'd be like, and please forgive my sister for taking my toys when I specifically asked her not to. Give her mercy.
Dude, that's the best.
Even though she lies all the time. But that's why the regrets, this is something you did that you feel. You have that weighing on you. Hey,
Okay.
I just think right now, real quick, I think.
Well, hold on. This Harambe has checked back in
yeah.
and let us know why he's upset with us.
Oh, yeah. Why?
City SC finally scores goals and wins a game, and we don't even talk about them.
Well, because.
And Harambe says that he's a libertarian. So, okay. All right. What if the actual gorilla was a libertarian?
I'm sure he was.
Yeah, I guess. You think he had politics?
I love that.
Anyway,
Thank
we
you,
haven't.
Harambe.
Yeah, they finally won a game, and we
You did
barely
mention
mentioned
it,
them.
Because you said that they got the new coach bump.
Yeah, the
and
new
I
coach
said
bump.
it must have been very difficult to fire such a handsome man in
Mhm.
Olaf Melberg.
Yeah, I would have had a really tough time with that myself.
I would have been like, I'm so sorry. Listen, I don't want to do this. You're a beautiful man.
Oh,
You're a beautiful man, and
And
I don't want to do this.
we have to let you go, but here's my number.
Here's my number.
Amy, you want to give away these
I would love to
things?
do it right now. Be the seventh caller.
Seventh to the contest
to the
line?
contest line.
955-1120? What are they winning?
955-1120. They are going. The seventh caller is going to win a pair of tickets to see Cody Johnson.
Cody Johnson.
At the Thunder Ridge Nature
Thunder
Arena.
Ridge Nature Arena.
You've been working with John Hancock a lot,
I
haven't
worked
you?
with him all week.
In Ridgedale, Missouri.
Ridgedale, Missouri.
August 23rd.
August 23rd.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Good luck to
John,
all of you.
Do you know, it is, I loved working with John.
Yeah.
He's really something.
Uh-huh.
I love that man.
Oh, that's the end of your sentiment?
That's it.
It sounded like you had a butt.
There's no but. There's no but. John's great.
John is great.
All the way Brad Young for a day, too.
Love Brad Young.
Yeah.
They're both great.
I love them both.
You had some winners filling in.
Yeah, now you're back.
I know. I'm sorry.
Ugh.
Good luck to everyone, since most of you will lose. Pretty much
right.
all of you are going to lose except for one person.
Bunch of losers calling in.
Well,
I'm looking at the phone lines lighting up.
wow.
And somebody's already been number 7. I know that
wow.
because I
Okay.
see Frank answering the phone.
Yeah.
So we got number 7, and there's somebody else still calling. That person is a loser.
Well, they don't know, though.
They don't know yet, but they'll find out. They're a loser.
Okay, that's
If you're
a
not
little
talking
rude.
to Frank right now, you are a loser.
Okay.
Because Frank is giving away Cody Johnson, and we'll be giving away these tickets all week. So if you lost today, you've still got time. Don't
You've
worry.
still got time. Your chances are still slim, and every day a little bit slimmer. However, not all hope is lost.
So if you don't win those tickets, and there's something you'd like to do to make yourself feel better, go to KMOX.com/Red Cross and donate. All the money that you donate at that web address will stay in the St. Louis area for those affected by the storm. So people in Missouri and on the Illinois side, because the tornado made its way over there too. All of the money, KMOX.com/Red Cross, will stay here in the St. Louis area. Tell us your regret. You can text us at 314-436-7900. Leave us a voice message on the Odyssey app. Tell us what you regret from the weekend, the past week, your life, something that you've just been wanting to let off your chest. You can do that now. Monday Regrets is next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Oh, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Oh, wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Mizzou football is here to stay. After an undefeated home season and a second straight 10-win year, the Tigers are looking for more in 2025.
Eli and the boys have done it again.
With a top 10 transfer portal class and a strong home schedule highlighted by Kansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, you don't want to miss out. Get your spot in line by joining the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
If you or someone you know suffered any injuries involving a deployed airbag, you could be entitled to compensation. Morgan & Morgan has already recovered millions. Get America's largest injury law firm fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Currently, it is 78 degrees downtown in St. Louis. It is sunny, and it will stay that way most of the day. Mostly sunny, a high of 88 degrees. Tomorrow, a high of 89, and partly cloudy. Weather brought to you by Siding Express and SidingExpress.com. Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardie Siding. At Siding Express, we specialize in James Hardie siding installation. Visit SidingExpress.com today to schedule a free consultation. That's SidingExpress.com.
Hey guys, Dave and Rach here for our good friends at Smart Mouth. So it is unique by the very definition of the word. It's the only mouth rinse out there with 2 chemicals that combine to prevent bad breath for 24 hours a day with just 2 rinses a day.
Never have bad breath again. You can find Smart Mouth locally at Schnucks and Deerbergs or at Walgreens, Walmart, and Amazon. Visit smartmouth.com to snag a special discount on your next Smart Mouth purchase. That's smartmouth.com/Glover.
Pirates manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Let's not say anything we're going to regret.
I regret it. All of us will come to regret this.
I'm serious. You won't regret it. Get over here right now.
Do you have regrets from the past week? We want to hear them. It's Monday Regrets with Chris and Amy.
Congratulations, Debbie in Farmington, who won tickets to see Cody Johnson at Thunder Ridge Nature Museum. Why do I keep saying museum? Arena in Ridgedale, Missouri. I've been saying it every
Really?
time. Yeah, I don't know
It's
why.
so weird. A museum is not like a big concert venue, Ranj.
I think it's, well, there are concerts outside the History Museum every Thursday.
There are.
Anyway,
Farmington
congratulations.
Is lovely. Farmington is lovely.
We'll give away tickets all week. I've never been to Farmington.
It's really pretty. I was there a few weeks ago.
Isn't that where, is it Jake Arrieta who's from there?
Is he?
Pitcher? I think so. I'll look it up. Something like that.
Hmm.
Amy?
Yes, he is.
It is. That's right. Cy Young? He won a Cy Young. Amy Marks Kors. It is Monday Regrets. Tell us what you regret from the past week or the weekend or whatever. And if you say you regret coming back to work today, I am going to throw you out the window.
Well, you can't because there are these
They're sealed.
plastic, sealed
Not this window.
partitions. Okay, so okay. I know there are certain mints, M-I-N-T-S, like peppermints. Breath mints.
Yes.
That I can't have because they kind of like they eat up my tongue or more the sides of my mouth. Have you know the icebreakers mints?
Love them.
Yeah.
I like them too, but like I'll get like my tongue will get sore if I eat them. Well, anyway, on a week ago on Friday, my friend's like, "Do you want a breath mint?" And I'm like, "Sure." And it was like an Altoid, one of the really strong little ones.
Yeah.
And I had one. It was delightful. So we were getting on the plane and we were boarding at different times. And she poured a handful of these little mints, like maybe like 15 of them, maybe 20 in my hand and said, "Here, put these in your pocket. You know, you can keep them." So we're boarding. And as we get in line, to board, and I had my carry-on bag and my backpack. And I realized I don't have any pockets. Like I had a sweatshirt without pockets. I had leggings without pockets. So I panicked. And I put all the breath mints in my mouth at once. And I held them in the side of my mouth, the right side of my mouth. And I was like slowly chewing them, but my eyes were watering a lot. And I could feel it like eating the skin off my tongue. And it did. And for like about a week, I couldn't even talk. I had like a massive burn on my tongue and on the side of my mouth and the top of my mouth on the right side from the mint.
My tongue swells up.
Amy.
Yeah.
You're going to get cancer now of the mouth.
From that?
Yeah.
From mints?
Yeah.
Why?
It's over for you. That's
Well,
actually not true at all. I just
all I
wanted to
know is
scare you.
it hurt really bad. And I was lisping like this because my tongue was so sore.
Oh,
it
you
was
poor baby.
so sore.
So that's your regret?
Yeah. Do you know, I actually think I lost weight the first few days of the trip because I could not eat because my mouth hurt so bad from the mints. I don't put all 20 minutes. I just panicked. I didn't have any pockets and we were boarding and I get nervous when we board. I always feel like I'm going to be arrested or something. So I put all the mints in my mouth at once.
I'm glad you're okay.
It hurts.
It's good to have
There's
you back.
nothing. Imagine burning your tongue 100 times over in the same
That's
spot.
not that bad.
It's so bad. It was
But
like a thorn in my tongue.
I have a couple of regrets now that I think about it, and
Yeah.
you're reminding me of one of them. I
Yeah.
regret that I bit my tongue yesterday, like the back of my tongue.
Oh.
So it hurts
So
really bad. And you can't do it. It's way back there. There's
I cannot
nothing I can do
believe
about
you
it.
have the audacity to bring that up after I literally just told you how I have like 3rd-degree mint
Mine
burns.
is worse. Biting your
No.
tongue is worse than burning your mouth.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
You could see it. You could see where the skin had been like
Would you rather
burned off.
burn the inside of your mouth
Uh-huh.
or bite your tongue? I bet most people would rather burn the inside of their mouth.
No one's burned it like this before.
The tongue bite is the worst. I also regret not being a better negotiator because clearly I did not do a good enough job getting vacation days because Amy Marks Kors
Oh my gosh.
has 500 vacation days a year somehow.
No.
I think I'm out of vacation days, and I've used one.
That's because you use yours in stupid ways. Like
That's
you
not
use them
true.
on Fridays and Mondays
Yeah,
to
it's the
go
best.
drink in Chicago, and then you're like, "Where did
No.
my vacation go? I haven't taken
You
a
take
single
full weeks.
because
vacation.
5 days.
She's taken
5 days.
You've had like
I took 5 days.
7 1-week vacations.
No, not even true. But what you do is you're like, oh, I'm going to Chicago. Oh, I'm hungover. I'm going to take Monday off. And you do that over and over again. And that's how you use your 5 days, where I save all of mine and then I take my 5 days.
This is nonsense.
I took 5 days. That's it. That's it. And you're like, oh, I have a tummy ache. Oh, I was drinking.
Tummy ache?
Oh, my friends.
I had an actual.
My friends are in a boy band and they're playing in Chicago. You talk about your stupid friends in the stupid boy band all the time.
They're really fun. Boy band night, they're fun. They come to St. Louis and play.
Half of your vacation is being used to
them.
go watch your boy band
No,
friends.
because I wait till they come here.
It's not true. You've gone to Chicago.
You're-
I got another wedding in Detroit.
I've been to one wedding
Friday
in
and
Detroit.
Monday. You
It happened in October.
You are that
I have
person.
a wedding in Wisconsin coming up.
Some people go broke $20 at a time. Some people go broke all at once. I go broke all at once. You go broke $20 at a time with your little wedding vacations.
It's not a vacation. By the way, I don't want to go to this other wedding.
It doesn't matter if you want to go. You still have to use your
I gotta pay
vacation
money.
day.
I gotta pay money for this stupid wedding.
I
Pay
just
money for a
don't go.
hotel.
See,
Ugh.
people think that you're mean and I'm nice. I can ghost people and I can not go to things way easier than you can. I don't feel obligated to do anything.
Pajeski, what is your regret?
You know what?
Everything's perfect. You
No.
don't
I
have
knew
any
he wasn't
regrets.
gonna have
Everything's fine.
one.
I
don't have
regret.
regrets. Why do I have regrets? I don't regret anything I do. Everything I've done is intentional.
No, that's Kevin.
I know.
Yeah, I regret trying to look for a house to
Yeah.
buy. I spent so much time looking to buy a house, and I
Oh.
realized it's just
Yeah.
impossible right now. And so I'm back into apartment lifestyle.
You know
As a
what,
tip.
though? It's a life experience and you had to look.
And
If you had just gone straight to an apartment, you would have felt like, oh, I should have bought
Yeah,
a house.
but I wasted money like
Yeah.
getting inspections done, applying for loans, and yeah, not fun.
And you've had to drive from Jeffco every day now, right?
Yeah,
So
Because you're in between homes.
I'm in limbo right now.
are you guys moving in together? I thought
With
you were.
Pajeski?
I
No.
offered.
No.
I thought you guys were moving, like you're moving into an apartment, a new apartment, and Pajeski's
I
moving
don't
in
think-
with you.
I can't have a roommate ever again. After living alone, I don't even know that I could live with a lady ever. I love
Just had-
living.
Okay.
I love. Listen,
Okay.
if I ever decide to do that marriage thing,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I think we're going to get separate houses.
Yeah. I
think we're actually-
I think you just want a neighbor.
You know, yes.
You don't think you
Wouldn't
want
that
to
be
get
nice?
married.
I think there's something to the idea of that sleep divorce. Was that what it's called?
Yeah.
We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, where people, it's a newer thing where people are sleeping in separate bedrooms,
Mhm.
and they find that their home life is way better. They like.
Also, this thing has been around forever. They just put names on it, and they're like, "Oh, it's quiet quitting. Oh, it's sleep divorce." Everybody has heard of these things
I've never
forever.
heard of sleep divorce. I've never heard of a couple.
Oh my gosh!
having separate
I will
bedrooms.
just say this off the air. I know multiple couples having separate rooms.
You do. I know
Yes.
zero people
know
who do that.
two.
I know a lot. Some
Wow.
are for
Although, you
practical
know what?
reasons, and some like I don't want to name them, but some just like as a kid growing up, certain people never had the same bedroom. I have to
Interesting.
clarify. It's not my parents. My parents are madly in love. It's other people.
No, you can still be madly in love, but sleep in separate
no,
rooms.
they don't. But I just mean like other people that I've known. Like sleep divorce has been around forever. To me, actually, I felt like I knew as many couples who didn't sleep in the same room as who did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I know anybody
Really?
who's done that. Yeah. That I'm aware of. Maybe there are people who do it and I just don't know. But
Yeah.
I think I bet there's a real benefit to it.
I don't.
Why? You get your space. You know, it's and then you can
I
sleep
think
in the
it's
same room when you want
I think it's a
to.
good
You know
sign for a marriage to share a bed
why?
for a number of reasons.
But why is it a bad sign?
Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it depends. Some of the people I know have very, very odd schedules.
Mm-hmm. You might get better sleep. I don't know. Anyway, that's Amy Mark Scores. I'm Chris Ranji. We have a way for you to give back. to people who were affected by the storm. The website, the link is still active, and it will be KMOX.com/Red Cross. Go there because we have raised so far, and let me refresh. We are at $268,000, close to $269,000. So please, if you can, the minimum donation is $10. You can donate whatever you want. KMOX.com/Red Cross. All goes for tornado relief, and it stays right here in the St. Louis area.
All stays local. All stays local. And again, we want to hear from you. 314-436-7900. You can call or text your Monday regrets.
That's right.
And another way to help tornado victims.
Oh, the Playadors are playing at Delmar Hall. Neil Salsick's going to be part of the mix. We had Dave Grelly and Neil in studio today. Delmar Hall, it will get started at 7 o'clock. They got a show, Playadors Family Affair, and they will be giving the proceeds to tornado relief. That is Saturday, this Saturday at Delmar Hall.
Very, very exciting.
You know what's coming up today? Gas House Gang, 12 o'clock.
Oh, that's right.
Tom Ackerman and me. Who else do we have, Matt?
John Rooney.
Oh, John Rooney will join the show for a bit. Cardinals dropped 2 of 3 in Texas. They got the day off today. Then they will have a long homestand. The Dodgers are coming to town over the weekend.
That's a lot of fun.
Shohei Ohtani is going to be in town.
That's a ton of fun.
That will be a lot of fun.
Hey, I know we didn't get to talk to Matt Pauley about this, but the Wednesday night, the Stanley Cup final begins with the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. That's a repeat of last year's Stanley Cup final. Edmonton Oilers with Connor McDavid, the next Gretzky, and Florida Panthers, obviously, with St. Louis and Matthew Tkachuk. That's going to be a ton of fun. Thursday, the NBA finals start with the Oklahoma City Thunder against the Indiana Pacers. Which final series are you most excited to watch?
Probably Thunder, Pacers. I'm surprised the Pacers got there, but Oklahoma City is really good. That is a really, really good team.
Yeah. Matt?
Hockey, always. Nothing beats the Stanley Cup.
That's right.
In your opinion?
I've got the best opinion.
No,
Oh, we do.
We have the best opinion. It's what the plaque says.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that'll be fun. And then the French Open women's final this Saturday, men's final on Sunday. And we'll probably need to talk to our horse editor, Scott Jagow.
Scott Jagow, yeah.
Because the Belmont Stakes
is this weekend. Yeah. All
and
right.
that will have the Kentucky Derby winner, Sovereignty, and the runner-up, Journalism. Wait, the Journalism won the Preakness.
Yep.
Was
Yes.
Journalism second in the Kentucky Derby?
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but it won the Preakness.
That's Amy Mark's course. I'm Chris Ranji. This is the Chris and Amy Show, award-winning with the best opinion.
That's right.
In all of the state of Missouri.
In all of the opinions in Missouri, we have the best one.
I didn't tell you guys. I just took my little contribution to the show and submitted that. It was my opinion.
What was your opinion?
Oh, I can't tell you.
Was the clip, did it start like this? Well, here's what I think.
Yeah.
Chris and Amy on 104.1 FM KMOX.
You had a solid retirement dream, sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Start your summer with a weekend showdown. Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers roll into Busch Stadium June 6th through the 8th. Be there Friday for a cool new promo, the first ever Cardinals neck fan. Perfect for hot game days. Then on Sunday, young fans 15 and under take home a Rawlings Kids Glove. It's a weekend of big matchups and big giveaways. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Mason Wynn, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Hey parents, looking for something fun and unforgettable to do with the kids? Bring the whole family to a Cardinals game at Busch Stadium. From kid-friendly activities and giveaways to awesome promotions like Kids Run the Bases. Your little ones will have a blast, and so will you. Check out Family Sundays, presented by Smithfield, where select tickets include a free jumbo hot dog and soda. There's nothing like sharing the magic of Cardinals baseball together. Make your memories this summer at Busch Stadium. Tickets are available at cardinals.com.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
All right, Amy, you missed it. While you were gone, betus.com.
Okay.
Some
Bet is
website.
just BetUS, okay.
BetUS. It came out with what they called Major League Looks.
Maybe it's Bet us.
I don't think it might be Betus.
Okay.
Top behind the scenes MVPs. They measured over 800 mascots, managers, umpires, and broadcasters in baseball. And they've determined who is the most crush-worthy.
Crush-worthy?
Yeah, it's about attraction.
Like hottie body?
Yes.
Oh.
It's about personality, confidence, and presence.
Okay.
So they took a scouting style approach and they measured factors like personality traits, the golden ratio, which measures facial proportions and symmetry, job titles, search volume, and social media following. And the number one winner overall was Baxter, the mascot of the Diamondbacks.
I've never even heard of Baxter.
I know, but you're going to love this.
Okay.
Who's on the list? There are a bunch of St. Louis people.
Okay.
Tom Ackerman came in 97th.
As a hottie broadcaster?
Yeah.
You know what? He's a hottie. I don't disagree.
He's
Tom
very-
Ackerman's the best.
Yeah, baseball broadcaster.
I will say this. I had a friend who had grown up listening to Tom Ackerman, so assumed he was much older. And he is a young-looking man anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And when she met him, she was very flustered.
He's cute. I think he's very cute.
She goes, "Oh my gosh, that's Tom Ackerman." Yeah.
Yeah.
She was flustered. Flustered.
Benji Molina came in 44th.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
So there are some
attractive people.
Yeah, that's right. So good
wait,
for
but
him.
the mascot was the most handsome?
Yes. And Fred Bird came in 116th.
Wait, I don't think it's fair that mascots and people were on the same handsomeness list.
I don't know. According to this list, they are.
Baxter, The Diamondbacks?
Yep. It was Baxter and then the Philly Fanatic.
The Philly Fanatic is not attractive at all.
I don't know. They think so.
He looks like Oscar the Grouch, kind of.
And then Clark the Cub, who doesn't wear pants, was
Well, just
number
because
3.
you don't wear pants, it doesn't mean you're that hot.
Well, somebody thinks so. Hey,
Okay, Baxter is kind of attractive.
Baxter is good looking, isn't he? Isn't he a cat?
He
He's
is.
a cat.
Baxter's pretty attractive.
Let's talk to Keith, who is in Collinsville and has a regret for us. Hello, Keith.
Yeah, my lifelong regret involves Joe Buck and Jack Buck. Many years ago in the 80s, I worked at Clayton Studios in St. Louis, the best recording studio in St. Louis. And Jack would come in to record the billboards for Cardinal baseball for the network. And I don't know if your listeners know what a billboard is, but if you want to tell them what it is. The intro to the Cardinal baseball game on the network.
Cardinals baseball brought to you by whatever and all that stuff. Yeah.
And Jack came in and Joe came in at the same time, and we recorded. Jack finished, and he said, and I gave the script to Joe, and I said, here, you record it. And he said, no, I don't want to do it. And his dad said, get your, you know what, in there. And so I gave Joe the script, and he read it. And then at the end, I mixed it, and I put it on a cassette tape, and I gave it to Joe. And I had a cassette tape, but I've lost it.
Oh.
And I would do anything if I had that cassette tape just to hear what he sounded like then.
Keith, you really blew it, man.
That is a regret.
Keith.
That is a great
I'm sorry
regret.
that happened to you, but it's entirely your fault. That is
No.
entirely Keith's fault.
No.
He blew it.
Keith, I'm on your side. I'm so sorry.
Well,
That
I'm
is-
sorry
that's a
too that
regret.
I'm sorry that he screwed up so badly. Because I would like to have heard that too. If you do locate it, Keith, you got to send it in, so, put it on, digitally, upload it, and then send it to the show here.
Hey, you know how obviously I was traveling at the airports recently. So a new, not survey, but study has found that overall, not in a case by case basis, but overall, if you are flying alone, you will pay more money.
Oh, yeah, I
than
saw
if you're
this.
flying with other people and you're
Yeah.
buying multiple tickets. So American Airlines, United Airlines, and Delta, the U.S.'s 3 largest carriers, often charge passengers more money if they're traveling alone. For instance, if you want to book a flight from Chicago O'Hare to Peoria, it would
Who
cost
the
you.
hell's going to fly to
I
Peoria
don't know.
from
That's why this
Chicago?
was a weird example. $269 if you're flying alone, but $181 per ticket if others are joining you. So they said not always, but a lot of times airlines, the 3 largest airlines in the country, will charge passengers more if they're traveling alone. Also, a lot of people cut it close with getting to the airport. Starting tomorrow, United Airlines will be required to check in at least 45 minutes before departure. Otherwise, you can't take your bags with you. Previously, the deadline was 30 minutes. And I knew that with international flights, if you're checking bags, because people say, 45 minutes is plenty. No. They won't take your bags if you're not there an hour early, depending on the airline.
Right.
So now United Airlines is making it 45 minutes. So heads up, if you're flying United, you need to make sure you're there if you're and checking in at least 45 minutes before departure for domestic flights.
A text message here says, I still regret watching Farmer Wants a Wife because I still haven't found the farm in Kirkwood. I forgot about that.
The farm in Kirkwood, yeah. I think they're like, do you have a yard?
Yeah.
You have a yard? Yeah.
Don't you have to have at least one animal?
Well-
or be, have a crop?
I think Joey Vitale's in Kirkwood and he got chickens. I bet they're counting that as a farm.
Chickens.
Yeah.
You've seen the video of Rick Ross?
Rick Ross.
Yeah, rapper. Rick Ross, and he's talking about raising chickens. He got chickens. He got thousands of chickens. Quack, quack, quack. the guy looks at him like, what?
What?
Quack? Thousands of chickens. Quack, 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 quack. That's awesome.
That's pretty funny.
Hey, we're finished.
Wow. What a great day.
I know.
What a
Did
great
you think
day.
people voted for us? Yes, for the A-list?
Probably not.
STL Mag A-list news talk show?
Here's what I think. They meant to, but they were too riveted by our show.
Go to @ChrisAmyKMOX on Twitter and vote for us, or I swear to
No.
the
Careful,
heavens that
careful.
I will come to your house and I will start a kitchen fire.
No, you can't.
And
Raj.
then I'm going to leave.
Ron, you can't say
You
stuff
can't
like
stop
that.
me.
Yeah, I think the cops can.
Vote for us. STL Mag A-list.
every day.
Vote every day.
We got to beat the Glover Show.
We will be pissed if you don't.
Please vote every day.
Yeah. Amy Marks Kors, goodbye. I'm Chris Ranji. I'll still be here because the Gas House Gang is about to happen. Tom Ackerman coming in. We're going to talk to John Rooney, who just emceed the Missouri Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame induction.
Oh.
That happened on Friday. So, yeah, we'll talk to Rooney at 12:30. Gas House Gang is next. Bye, Amy. I said bye.
Bye. It sounded like you had a butt.
There's no but. There's no but.
Charlie Brennan with Dr.